It's us, Corsairs Cove. I am Brendan Ellis, your DM. I've always been your DM. No, just joshing. Haha.
Nice.
Yeah, welcome to the third year anniversary of Josh the Pirate's Humblewood World. And as a little treat for them and you, I'm going to do a sneaky little three-shot. So I am Brendan Ellis. You may know me from playing Humblewood on Thursday nights. And with me, I also have the very dapper Jack O'Brien, the lovely Elibee, and Josh is in the wrong screen. This is crazy, Josh the Pirate. So let's talk a little bit more about everyone. Jack, do you want to go first?
Well, first of all, I'm going to need everyone, because I dress like this for a reason. When I take the sunglasses off, I need the customary CSI. Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
I think about now. First, and
Ow!
Yeah.
Very good. So, welcome everybody. My name is Jack, and I am a professional dungeon master. You can find me at www.dungeonmasterforhire.com.au. You can also find me on socials at Jack Squarepeg and on Twitch, playing Baldur's Gate 3 streams or doing edutainment on tabletop RPGs.
Please, Ellie.
Hi, I'm Elibee. Most likely known through being a serial lurker in D&D streams. They finally dragged me on, so look, here's my face. You can find me on socials as Elibee94 on most of them, not all. Not sure which ones, sorry. Yeah, I'm usually a theatre human, not usually doing this, so this is going to be fun.
That's how we all started, and now we're deep into it.
No, I don't have a problem. I can stop whenever I want.
You have a problem.
I trust you. Josh, please, Josh the Pirate, take us away.
Avast, mateys. I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsairs Cove, where I run D&D and other RPG-related games with my lovely wife, Karen, the mother of bunnies. Zach doesn't get to call bad light or choose new cricket ball.
I have no idea what that is. That a thing? Well, I don't get it.
It's Crispin Crunch likes cricket.
Oh,
we're mathletes, not athletes, Crispin. Yes.
Sports.
I saw that
everyone
once.
has a good time.
They sportsed real hard. Yeah, you can find me here on my channel, Corsairs Cove. We do D&D and other RPG-related games. I'll be back on Monday night with Jack for more Humblewood of Midnight Madness. And Tuesday night for something. I'm not sure what yet, because we finished Roll Table for 2. But tonight I'm going to be playing Gallo Briarspur, who is a redeemed NPC from Foxcall. And I was just like, NPC? Try player character, my friend. Because Foxcall did something rather groovy and commissioned art of it. So here is what Gallo looks like. Which is, I think, pretty freaking cool. I'm like, wow, you are extra with yours. He sent me pictures of all of the NPCs he's commissioned as well, which I think is really fun.
Wow.
But this is the one they actually commissioned. And I'm like, love it. I hecking love it. So yeah, that's me, and that's who I am. You can also find me in the podcast There Be Dragons, where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Scan Felspar, and his little dragon, Rush. Brendan, who the heck are you? What do you do?
Look, I'm Brendan Ellis. I am a theatre human. I'm a director. I'm a shit poster in chat, although probably not so much tonight. And this is my first time DMing on stream, so I'm sure, please give me all of your very helpful and kind feedback. I'm anticipating all of that. No, please just dump on me. It's going to be fine. I'm probably going to be ignoring you anyway. But no, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Jack logs in. Yeah. No, as I said before, I usually play Eric on Thursday nights on Humblewood. But I have usurped my own time slot. So this is
Nice.
happening for this and the next 2 Thursdays. So look forward to
Anyone
that.
remember the history of the Roman Empire? I'm just saying, Josh, watch out.
You started it first as well. I'm just seeing a third happening here.
I started it, but then I got deposed.
It's fine.
But
Let's
you know,
not
I
worry about
retired.
that. Et tu, Brellis? I also
man.
want to let all of you know, our audience know, that we do have our socials. So please like, follow, subscribe. We have YouTube, which I will say, I've said before, but Josh is incredibly good at keeping up to date on uploading the VODs. So please, if you like what we're doing tonight and you particularly like Tali's character, we have some previous Candlekeep episodes where Tali debuted. So please check out YouTube particularly, and we've also got all the social links in chat as well. And our Discord as well is actually super active. So please, if you enjoy the vibe tonight and you're not in the Discord, please join our Discord as well. We also need to shout out Wood and Forge, who have supported us. Who has Wood and Forge stuff on them? Josh?
Not on me, but
Sick.
next to me.
Next
Oh,
year, that'll
beautiful
do.
thing. Yes.
Nice. And also,
Handcrafted
of
wooden
course-
tabletop accessories.
Yes, and very good people from what I've heard.
They are bloody champions.
Yeah. And we've also, of course, got Sirenscape, who is providing the music that is gracing our ears and has definitely been gracing my ears for the entirety of the previous season. Josh, can you please talk to us about the Ukraine?
I certainly can. The Ukrainian people have been going through a bit of a rough time, as you may have noticed. So, I am putting a link up in chat for the emergency action appeal. If you happen to have any spare charity dollars in your digital wallet, we would appreciate the absolute heck out of you going over there and donating what you can. The over 8 million refugees have been generated by this conflict so far, and it would be great if you could support them. So thanks very much. Bless your hearts. If you sneeze during this, bless you.
Thank you very much for that, Josh. Bringing the mood back up as always. Well, there is nothing else for me to use to stall, so I guess we're gonna get into it.
How are you, chat?
Chad, would you like to describe yourself? Yeah, let's just get into it.
Sure.
We
Let's
find ourselves in the roots of the Older Heart, where Tali is in a small burrow underneath the roots, where she has started to form a little bit of an office for herself. Tali, would you describe yourself, please, and what you're up to?
Yes, I can, as soon as my bloody camera decides to focus on me again. There you go. Sort of, maybe? Yeah,
Yep.
there you go. So yes, Tali is a russet and ginger-coloured foxfolk Vulpin. She has a rather wild, curly, dark hair, and is currently sporting a pair of sensible glasses behind a mountain of paperwork, but from her perspective, is something that would be quite small in comparison to the stuff that she normally has. But at the moment, she's kind of looking through a very specific kind of case file, just kind of looking over these cases that haven't quite been cracked yet, and chewing on her toothpick as she is wont to do. She also has fur that she is that is not there from the elbow down. She has fleshy from the elbow down, fleshy arms and hands from acid burns. There is a significant amount of scarring. That's from previous adventures. Plug, go watch the YouTube if you want to find out more. Ha 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 ha. She now has tattoos on them to make them a little bit more appealing to look at. They're mostly floral pieces, Hyacinthias and the like. And and she's also wearing kind of leather gloves because I think that would be the most kind of scarred out of all of it. Or leather isn't a thing, so like beetle.
Yeah, beetle
Skin, I don't know.
Leather could be a thing.
The vegan equivalent, which is great for me because Jack is a vegan. But yes, that is Tali.
Fantastic. Tali, as you are poring over these case files, you look up and you notice where you hadn't noticed before is a book sitting by the entrance to the burrow. It is pretty nondescript. It is bound in bark, as most books are in the Humblewood, with amber fittings in the corner, as in amber the resin, and a clasp made of amber as well. And there is also a little carving representing a tree with some amber dots in it representing what looks like lemons.
What time of day is it? How long have I been in the office for? Or this makeshift office?
Let's say it is mid-afternoon.
Okay. So I probably
So it's up to you how active you've been on the prowl.
No, I think she's probably covering. I think a big part of her job right now is kind of covering the butts of people who are trying to do things other than kick humble folk out of their homes. So a big part of that is just kind of bending the rules, kind of fudging the paperwork and whatnot. So she's doing that. And to be honest, she's outside kind of depresses her at the moment. So unless there's something specific, she's kind of enjoying being a bit of a hermit. But I get the feeling, based on that information, she'd be like, "What the hell?" Because that's a recent delivery then, because she would have noticed if it was there when she came in. She goes, "Hello?"
There's no answer.
If someone's invisible, it's not funny. Assholes. And I'll stand up and have a look at this book.
Yeah, it doesn't have any title. It's bound and has a clasp and this image of the lemon tree on it.
Does that mean anything to me? Or is it just stuff?
Roll a history check.
Okay. That's an 8.
It doesn't mean anything to you.
Okay. It's not my first rodeo with books that, you know, or magic items. So, well, actually, books in particular, like that could be particularly bad news. I suppose I will kind of put it up on the desk and make a note to let mostly out of paranoia. I imagine she's probably got some friends in the mage tower. I'm using shorthand Josh because I don't quite know the name.
The avium.
The avium.
Who could have a look at this and make sure it's safe before she opens it.
Sure.
So
I'd
she
have
will
thought
take
she'd
it
probably take it to the tenders if she was in the older hut.
If that's closer.
It is.
That's then yeah, probably. But yeah, she'll probably take it to them. Well, I mean, no one's kind of on the clock, so to speak. So yeah, she'll probably put it under her arm, go like, "Oh, it's freaking 2:00 already. I'll go for a stretch and take it to someone to." Well, yeah, we'll put it in a satchel and we'll take it to the tenders. Let's do that.
Okay, great. You head to does the headquarters of the tenders have a name? Josh, or is it just
Not in the book. It is the Tender
Yeah.
Halls.
the tender halls,
The firehouse.
the firehouse?
The anti-firehouse.
Okay, so this is going to be fun. Tali, I assume, is she trying to keep a low profile at the moment, or is she?
No.
How is she when she's out and about?
No, she walks with a confident stride, but she's not arrogant either. Just someone who gives off a, like I know where I'm going, kind of like a child. Like remember, like when you're like 4 or 5 years old, like I'm going over here. Why are you going here? Because I've got a harmonica. What are you doing with the harmonica? I'm going to put it in the toilet.
Enough questions.
And enough questions. Goodbye. And that kind of purposeful stride is what she has.
Right.
So yeah.
As Tali travels through the roots and up the older heart towards where the tender halls are, there would be a number of people. None of them would call out or anything, but a number of people, primarily humble folk here, who smile when they look at you, and roll an insight check.
Okay. Natural one.
Right. Tali sees a lot of smiles, particularly from the Furrier residents.
I look good today.
Which may or may not make her feel good.
I look hot.
Work it.
Maybe it's his gloves. You do shortly make your way to the tender halls. Do you think you have had much interaction with the tenders?
I think that my understanding of the older heart community is a little bit more limited because I'm a Barovia player. So my understanding is that their big job is to kind of maintain the safety of the tree, correct? Like make sure that's all good to go?
But yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They have
like
been
more in the
playing a
sense
huge
of
part
natural
in-
disasters and the like, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get the feeling that not recently, but they've definitely, just like how police and fire rescue would have a relationship with each other, she would probably be on first name basis with a lot of them because they've got probably the more gruesome job of actually getting the victims out, and then it's Tully's job to catch the bad guys that did the thing. If it was the case, so she would have a first name basis with many of them, if not all of them, I would say. Yeah.
You know, the absolute
great.
number one, she definitely would know.
We'll see if we have the same thought,
Hey, David.
Josh.
Hey, Mikey, how are you? Yeah, good.
Again, lots of smiles, some slightly surprised looks, but you are
Yeah, I'm
received
outside.
warmly.
Fuck off.
There is a Luma gentleman who greets you and says, Tali, it's good to see you. How can we help you today?
Do I know this person's name?
Yeah, this is Gregor.
Gregor. And I'll shake his hand, and I will say, well, to be honest, I don't know if you can. This might even be pointless, but I'm a little paranoid these days. And I'll show him the book and just go, I kind of just need to make sure that this thing is good to open without blowing my head open.
Well,
It was left on in my makeshift office down in the roots.
right.
Which, as you know, not a lot of people know about for obvious reasons. So someone's dropped this off of me, no note, and I didn't notice them, which, I mean, not to brag, but I normally notice stuff.
Yes. As the kids say, that sounds like sussy flower.
They say that?
What?
I am so old. No, I know. I know. Sue says. God damn it! That's where Sue got it from. I hate it. I hate it.
Look, that's okay. Look, in any case, this is certainly not a me thing, but Gabrielle would probably be able to assist you with that.
Oh, Gabby. Yeah, okay. Is she around?
Yes. Just in her lab, and he guides you. He gestures down the hall that you would be familiar with. Gabby or Gabrielle is a Corvum, who is this chapter of the Tender's primary. Well, she's an artificer, and she's the primary person when it comes to weird magical items. So, so you would probably have a passing familiarity with her.
Sure.
So
No, yeah, go for it. You were speaking.
So you head down the halls where you know her laboratory is. There is relatively loud music
What kind?
playing in here. It is birdsong, obviously.
Ugh. Okay.
Quite high pitched.
No, I can never understand what those birds are saying. They're just screaming. Just ah. But go on.
Harley, do you have to? You know, this is my space that you've just come into.
Oh no, I didn't know. She wouldn't have said it in front of her.
It's okay. Come in. Oh,
Gabby.
hey.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
That doesn't matter. How can I help?
I'll tell her the story about the book.
Right. Okay. You have it here?
Yeah. I'm wearing gloves. I mean, you're the magical expert, but I'm just gonna put it on the table and take 10 steps back. Yes.
Yes. Okay. You're so paranoid. Why would you be so paranoid? Right. Okay. And you don't know where this came from?
That's part of my concern.
Okay. Hey, Josh, does Gabby have Identify? She would have Identify. Yeah.
Gabby has any spell you need, baby. For the
fair.
purposes of the story.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come back tomorrow. I'm gonna have to prepare it.
She's an artificer. She doesn't prepare
thank
shit.
you for tuning in to the first part of this.
I cast convenience.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, just give me 10 minutes or so, yes?
Okay. Yep, no problem.
She turns her music down and she casts a ritual which you would probably be familiar with. She casts Identify on this thing. And after it, she says, right, okay, so it appears to... I don't think it's cursed, but it appears to be
I love the don't think. That's helpful. Thank you.
Well, it has some traces of necromancy, but it appears to be a receptacle for something.
Jack is not as intelligent as Tali. Receptacle means...
A container for something necromantic.
Right. Okay.
Like a phylactery.
I mean, a phylactery would also be the container of something necromantic. Yeah.
A receptacle, yeah.
Yeah.
Josh is poking the bear.
I'm aware.
Do you mind opening it if you are confident?
Sure. But just stay nearby, right? You have the the sword and the shield.
Oh, I mean,
and
that's
the...
yeah. If something comes out, I'll whack it. But I'm not going to stand next to you. That's the whole point of I came to you in the first place.
I've missed you, Tali. And Gabby, in fact, Gabby is going to roll as well.
Great. Love not being there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's so fine.
Was I
This
supposed to do
tree,
something?
no, this tree on the cover is weird. Whatever. And she carefully takes the clasp. Yeah, she rolled a natural 2 on her history check.
Okay.
And she opens the clasp, and the book flies open. And
Evil Dead style. Let's go.
yeah, the air around you grows chilly,
Oh,
and
God damn it! Damn!
heck, a cloud of vapor begins to shimmer along the racks and counters in Gabby's lab, and it grows thicker around this book.
I think instinctually at this point, if I think that she might be in danger, I will inherently kind of move in front of her, get my shield out, get the nightstick out, and just go and be ready for anything.
Okay, great. She will definitely accept that and will take a few steps back. As she does, you turn back around, and the mist has coalesced into the vague form of a young servant woman, with white woolly fur, and floppy ears and a big snout. This is a sheep servant. She is translucent, and she's wearing a servant's uniform bearing the symbol of the tree that was on the front of the book. And she looks at you for a moment and then weeps aloud with tears running down her cheeks. And she opens her mouth as if to call out, and you can see that her tongue is gone. She moans in anguish, and she reaches towards you. And as she does, the mist shreds away to nothing, and the spirit is gone.
Hello? Ma'am? Gabby, you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Hopefully my lab isn't haunted. Well, I think I've done my job. Would you kindly take that super haunted book away from my lab?
Cool.
Although
Bye.
I will point out, look, and you look, and the book is open. So, and she goes over to it. I'm just going to try something. And she closes the book again, closes the latch, and then reopens it, and nothing happens. Yeah, it seems like maybe that was a one-time thing. Or at least the trigger has changed.
Could I have made a either with my passive investigation, which is 20. Actually, let's go with that. With the book text or anything like that, does anything jump out at me? Like, what was it? Just kind of squiggly lines? Was it blank? What were we looking at? What details do I pick up?
From when it threw itself open.
When it was open, the magical effects. Basically, she's just she's kind of like a living computer. She's just recording everything.
Sure.
Anything significant that jumps out.
Sure. Only 2 pages would have been visible.
Right.
But I will say that there appeared to be well, yeah, 1.5 of those pages would have been covered in writing. And
Okay. Did I see
the
what
last,
that was?
I'm going to say that with a 20, with everything that was going on, you probably wouldn't be able to have been able to tell the content of it, but you would be more than welcome to read through the contents of this book at your leisure.
I think I probably need to take it to someone who knows something else. This is not my thing, but I will follow Gabby's request, and I will, I suppose, open and do the thing that 12-year-old Jack did, which is have my nose in the book and try not to run into anybody, but almost do several times. I will head to the most appropriate place that Brendan would like me to go to.
Look, I would suggest probably back to your office.
Okay.
And there would be, I feel like Tali's investigatory instincts are definitely on high alert at the moment.
Yes.
So there's probably a couple of people, associates of Tali's, that she's maybe considering bringing on board. It is up to Jack and Tali whether she wants to take a bit of a peek on her way back to the office.
Yeah, that's what I said
would
I'd
be.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
All right. So are you starting from the beginning or are you leaping through?
I think we'd start from the beginning, and whatever the she'd read as much as the journey over would be. So
okay, great. It won't be a lot, but on the first page you would see handwritten Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor. And the first few pages are filled with handwriting that looks pretty crude. And the first couple of pages are just Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor.
just her writing, that sentence.
Practicing her name.
Okay, I had a much creepier vibe, which was The Shining, but thank you for clarifying.
No.
I don't know if it is.
You do
Still pretty creepy.
You do notice. You do notice as you thumb through.
Sarah, adult girl.
the writing does become a bit neater as it goes on. There you can see that the writing of her name then turns into like pretty classic writing exercises, stuff like that. And there will it kind of in between these writing exercises there are things like shopping lists or list of things to do.
She's going to take it back, and once she arrives at the office, she will go over to the little pin board that she has, where she has all of the treasured pictures, and a lot of them are drawings from her children, and she's going to compare them. She's going to look at the different drawings over the years from Mika, Sue, Jackie, Emma, Liam, and Paige, and basically compare them, give or take, to the age that this person might be. Give or take.
Roll an investigation check with advantage.
All right. $24.
Fantastic. Assuming that this book was used on a consistent basis, the progress seems a lot faster than a child's would be. So, and based on the fact that it has shopping lists and to-do lists, you
Interesting.
and also the nature of the writing exercises, you get the feeling that this was an adult woman being taught
Practicing her cursive
how,
in the
yeah,
adult years. Interesting. So rich,
which
probably. Affording a
which
tutor.
would not be unusual for there's the name Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor,
Yeah, okay,
and
that, yeah.
yeah, this seems like, yeah, okay, maybe this is a servant um, teaching herself or being taught.
A servant. Okay. Interesting. Okay. You mentioned that there were some people that she would instinctually contact?
Yeah, I think so. I imagine on her way back, she will catch the eye of one of the local kids she knows, and in fact, probably a couple of them, and say, "Hey, will you go get the paladin fig, and will you go get Gello Briarspur?"
Okay, I will clarify. I
Yeah,
don't think she would talk to children in that way because she has
sure.
7 of her own, and that's a good way
Yeah,
to get arrested. So,
sure.
so she
Who
will
would
talk
she?
to. She would probably just pay people like
Yeah,
that look like they've got nothing better to do. In fact, she would
yes,
probably go to a lot of the humble folk that have nowhere else to go,
yeah,
like living on the street, and give them way more than getting a message to someone is worth, like a
yeah.
gold piece, and go like, "Can you do this for me?" And make sure that it gives them like a week's worth of pay or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, easy enough, and they're more than happy to do that for you. Um, so you have gone back to your office. You've done a little bit more investigating and comparison of her
Yep.
writing. When a couple of people arrive, one at a time. The first person to arrive is a Gallus. Um, Gallo, go ahead and describe yourself for us.
Gallo is, he's a pheasant gallus. He has quite long tail feathers and has quite a lot of white in his plumage. He is quite a tall gallus, particularly tall for a gallus. He is nearly 6 foot. And stands broad-shouldered. You know him to be a very humble man, though he doesn't have the background grounded, he is very a man of the people, and as he is fond of saying, a man for the people. He, you would know him because the roots are not particularly well served for medical practitioners. So Tali knows him to be a man of learning. He is a doctor in the broadest sense. I would imagine people down here call him the Doctor, or Doc, but it's not actually, he's not trained specifically. He just can, and therefore does because someone should.
So kind of like a Humblewood paramedic of sorts.
A little bit. His training is actually religious in nature. He was a member of a seminary for a while, but he is not ordained in any way. And though you've never seen it, you've heard tale that he did serve in the military at one point, and knows how to handle himself. He is currently wearing smart street clothes, sort of the Humblewood equivalent of a suit and tie. In fact, let's say it's a suit and tie, because I enjoy the idea of a pheasant in a suit and tie. He has...
It'd be like Reservoir Dogs, but animals.
Yeah. What are the glasses
Yeah,
that
like
clip
dogs.
on? Yeah. Reservoir pheasants. What's the glasses that clip onto the bridge of your nose? I'm trying to remember the name of them.
Pince-nez.
Pince-nez, that's the one. Because it pinches your snoz. That's the Yeah, and he's got a pince nez on the like quite far up on his beak, and there's a gentle tap at your door, and he would wait. Actually, he would not just come straight in.
Come in. And I think he would probably walk in and see a familiar sight of where Buddy's, which is basically her back to you, the pinboard with the photos like very nicely kind of put in a pile, and the like little notes that she's making to herself, and she's starting to make like what those red string crime pinboards that you've seen.
Conspiracy card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy wall.
Crazy wall, exactly. And she kind of turns her head slightly, and she's got a trademark toothpick in, which means she's concentrating, and she goes, "How's it going down there? Everything okay?"
Things are fine. You seem to have gotten yourself another mystery, do you, Ms. Magira?
You know me very well. I need you to have a look at this thing. Maybe you can tell me if apparently there's some necromancy in it. You can tell me if it's cursed. Anything you can find out.
I will have a look.
But I'm waiting on Fig as well.
I was just about to say, as you say that, I'm going to attempt to pronounce this once and then never again. Iphigenia, Sablepaw, great, passable.
It was close.
Great.
Is that the name Mrs. Doubtfire has, or am I going crazy?
That's you for
It is. Oh, it was close. Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
It's very close.
Yeah.
If that's the reference, then
Nope.
Disappointed.
please, I'm not going for a second attempt. Please describe Fig, what they look like, how they approach their specialty.
Of course. So, Iphigenia Sablepaw, that's how you pronounce her name, goes by Fig. No one calls her full name for obvious reasons. It just takes too long. So she's a paladin. She's also a Jabeen, which means she's a lovely tiny little mouse person. She's also very, very bubbly and happy, despite the fact she was born in the Roots. So she would be most likely to know Tali, because they would have interacted before, as she would have been a child growing up in the Roots. So Jabeens, they reach maturity at like age 5, I believe. So she's only 10, but she is full grown for what they are. So child, but not. And she's a paladin. So this is going to be a very interesting time.
Oh.
But yes.
Two
so
paladins. Dope.
Hey. Yeah. So she is a paladin, and yeah. Don't know what else I can say about her in that regard. She idolizes Gaspard, so that's pretty much where she's at. She wants to fight for what's good and what's right, and she will essentially not knock. She will just bound in. She's been asked to be there. She's got permission. She'll just bound in and be like, Tali, what's going on?
Hey, mate. Well, you can see for yourself. I think you two could probably have you two. Yeah, have we? Let's assume that you guys know each other for the sake of brevity. I was like, we've got Gallo here as well. And maybe you two can figure out what I can't, because this is magical crap.
Hi, Doc.
Nice to see you again, Miss Sablepaw.
Always
So if you look at this book over there, for starters, I don't know what it's going to do. I have not opened it since, but last time it was opened, the spirit came out. It was missing a tongue, and it screamed at me, but not in a antagonistic way. It was in pain.
Was it injured? Was this, you say it
was missing a tongue.
But was it a fresh injury, or was it...
It was transparent, my friend. I could not tell you.
Seeking the cause of the death. This is a deceased
that's
person.
a good point.
That's a lot of
Maybe
blood.
it will happen again, and we can look at it. That's a good point.
Eagerly awaited.
In the meantime, I've managed to figure out that she was a servant, and she's later in life started to learn how to write. She's a servant of a. Have you guys heard of Yellowcrest Manor before?
Roll history checks for me, please, both of you.
All right. There's a 16.
That's fine.
Okay, 16. Fantastic. You have heard of the Yellowcrest family, and you're aware that their ancestral home, Yellowcrest Manor, is in the upper branches of the Older Heart. And coming over to look at the cover, the bark cover of this book, you recognize the sigil of the Yellowcrest family, of this tree with the amber resin representing lemons.
It will probably not come as a huge surprise, but the Yellowcrest family have a manor up in the branches. They are an old family.
I didn't want to assume, but yeah, it kind of tracks. Rich people, servant.
Tali, can you make me another history check, this time with advantage?
Yes, sir. Bum. I'm looking at the wrong character sheet. Okay, cool. An advantage. 24. A natural 20.
Okay. Brilliant. All right. At this point, I'm gonna step out of DM for just a little sec because I forgot to give a little content warning at the beginning of stream. So there is a content warning for, I guess, domestic violence would be one way of phrasing it, of violence against children and spouse. So everything is off screen and implied, and nothing will be gone into in detail, but I felt like this was my last chance to give that warning. So if you do have any concerns about that, then please tune out for the next 5-10 minutes or so and then revisit us later.
It's
Thank you
also
very
worth
much.
noting that Brendan did let us know beforehand, chat. So,
Yep.
like, this is not news to
It
us.
is in the title as well. Yep. And I also, seeing as we've stopped, Shade, thank you very much for the follow, you bloody champion. Avast, matey, you wee scallywag.
Click.
Avast,
Fantastic.
matey, you wee scallywag.
Didn't.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Go back to the southern forest.
Sure.
Avails.
Avast,
Tali,
matey, you wee. No, I can't. It's.
Tali, hearing Gallo speak about this triggers something in your head, and in fact, I would say you probably thumb through your file of. Did you say? I don't think you did, but there would probably be some unsolved crimes in there.
Yeah, I did say that. Yeah, I was
yeah.
focusing on those cases, in fact, at the beginning.
Yes. In fact, not at the top, but near the top of the stack, you pull out a file referring to Yellowcrest Manor.
Hang on. Go.
There was several murders 5 years ago.
5 years ago. I'm reading this, I'll just say go.
Yes. The Lady Yellowcrest and the 3 children of the Lord and Lady were murdered, as well as 3 servants from Yellowcrest Manor.
Yellowcrest, Lady Yellowcrest, 3 servants, and anybody else?
3 children.
3 children. This happened how many years ago?
5.
5 years ago. Several murders 5 years ago. Lady Yellowcrest, 3 sevens, 3 children.
Lord Yellowcrest was out of town. He was not in the Older Heart at that time. It's up to you whether or not you were active within the Perch Guard or investigating at the time. But while there are references to like considering him, he was never charged. There was never any evidence that could support anything. Any allegations. So Lord Vialis Yellowcrest is his first name. They are a raptor family. He was cleared of any charges, and he soon after sold the manor and moved out of town.
This was the case that made my captain retire. He was very good at his job, and he taught me what I needed to know. And I was on the beat. I didn't get to see it, but I saw him break 3 children, 3 servants, and a wife, and we found nothing. Even with all the magic we had. And now this book comes in. Someone's teasing me, man.
Well, have you read the whole thing, or are you wanting us to
It's a big book. I'm on it. But I get the feeling it will probably... I'm hoping it will react to you. And if it attacks, then you can hopefully channel it back with your magic powers.
Hey, Rusty Tonics. This Vialis Yellowcrest, what manner of folk are they? Say you saw a girl.
Raptor.
Oh, interesting. You saw a young woman, not a raptor.
7. Servant. Which kind of makes sense, again, because it's an adult learning how to read and write. So, later on in life, she's been given the opportunity, which so few of us humble folk get.
Yes, well, you know my feelings. Gallo would look at Fig, and with a sort of a, "Are you ready?" As he would go to open it.
Fig's probably going to look straight back and just challenge him and be like, I was born ready.
Here with you, just a few feet back, yeah?
Okay.
Gallo opens it.
All right. As the book opens, you all feel a chill down your spines
Here we go.
as nothing eventful happens.
That is...
Tali, are you lying to us?
When have I ever lied to you?
Well,
Oh, this'll be
Never.
good. Everybody is jerking my chain today.
No. I mean, I don't have enough energy to lie. I've got 7 kids, for God's sake. No, I genuinely expected something would happen, but I guess I've got to do it the old-fashioned way and just read this out and figure it out.
May I make an Arcana check on the book?
Sure.
To see
What do you want to determine?
To determine whether or not it is just a passive magic, if all the magic in it has come out already, or if there's
Sure.
more waiting to come.
Yep. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, it's 27.
27.
one.
Okay. You would be tuning into your spiritual side for this. Back to your teachings. You can sense not a malevolent force, but some kind of entity that remains tied to this book. And so there is still a some kind of magic within this.
I am going to switch to. I speak several languages. One of them is Servan. And I prepared this before. And I'm going to switch to Servan, and in Servan say, "Please come out and talk to us. If you have more to tell, we want to hear what you have to say."
There's no response.
Yeah.
You feel, as you're still holding the book and attuned to it spiritually, you feel a slight pull, but you feel like it needs something more
A trigger.
to be summoned forth.
I feel we may have to. Do you know? You say Valeus Silvercrest. He sold up and moved on out. Do you
Yeah,
know if
Yellowcrest,
anyone
yeah.
purchased? Why do I think silver? Oh, I know, because there's a different family in the branches
called
called the
Silvercrests.
Silvercrests.
What is the Lord's first name, by the way? Sorry, Ben.
Violence.
Alice. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I
what was the-
will. put
That's
it
what
in
happens when Josh
the
writes
chat.
it down phonetically and then reads what he's written phonetically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Alice.
Josh, what was your question? Sorry, in character.
He moved. Did anybody else move in after?
Into the house. That is a very good question. I kind of put it out of my mind for obvious reasons.
That wouldn't be within your knowledge or in the case file.
No. But my people in the Perch Guard would know. We can go check with them, and to be honest,
we could just go and visit the house, which would be my first part of
I don't really want to do that before I read all of this. I want to know what I'm dealing with.
I only ask
Call
because
it the Call of Cthulhu player in me. I want to know everything before I go in the haunted house.
Yeah. I only ask because I feel that whoever is bound to this, there's a reason, there's a trigger.
I think we're on the same page. I think it's on the cards, but knowledge is power. But how big is this book? Does it look like I can bash through it with a passive investigation of 20?
Yeah, I think the three of you poring over it could probably get through it pretty quickly. It's not a tome by any means.
Right.
And in fact, I would say probably one of you, like, looking through it with the other two, kind of either over the shoulder or in Fig's case under the elbow.
There's some fan art right there, like just the three of them looking over a book.
Oh yes, so good. It
Don't crush my ear.
Love it.
becomes apparent to Gallo and Fig pretty quickly that this was used to teach someone how to write. The first third of the book is a mixture of writing exercises and to-do lists and things of that sort, but some recipes and things. But after the first third, it turns into a journal, a diary. It speaks of it's obviously in the first person and refers to a Lady Maria, who Tali, you would recognize as the Lady of the Manor, who has been teaching the writer how to write, and that Lady Maria gifted her this book to use as her exercise book and her journal.
As soon as it becomes clear that we are reading the diary of a young lady, Gallo would immediately say, "I apologize. I cannot. I feel it would be improper."
You want to step out of the room?
I am happy to remain. I just be doing no reading.
Okay. Fig, you wanna? We'll do. Actually, is Fig female?
Yes.
Okay. You wanna do girl talk over journal?
Always.
Tali, perhaps would you like me to go home and check on your little ones?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, they'd love to see Uncle Gallo. Actually, tell them, here, and I'm going to give him some gold. Tell Paige to get 3 pizzas, not 4, not garlic bread, 3 pizzas. Okay, and that I will be counting the change. Yes.
I will see the message conveyed.
Thank you. Hey, thank you. And as Tali hands over the gold, she will hold his hand with it, just like they will love seeing Uncle Gallo. You've been too busy down there, my friend. You should come visit more.
It is at once good and terrible.
Well, let's be a bit more upbeat for the younger ones, yes?
Of course. Yeah, Gallo would go and look after Tali's kids for a while.
No, Paige is old enough; she can look after them. She knows when Mum's on the beat.
Okay, so Gallo leaves to go. I assume still in the Roots.
Oh yeah,
is their home?
Probably. Yeah, I don't imagine Perch Guard make that much. Plus,
not Vault.
Yeah, it would feel weird being any higher. Like, just like yeah.
My guess is that Tali was born down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if she was born in the Hollows, she may be, but no, if she was born down here, she wouldn't have moved down.
No, probably not. And plus, like, I need a lot of space. Just like, there's 7
Oh no,
of
we
them.
need
Just
more
like,
room.
like,
Dig another room.
Yeah, the house is very the burrow like.
Mom,
literally
you gotta
in Harry
stop
Potter.
having these kids. Dig another room. Buy another pizza.
I had them all at once. It was not a good day. Well, no, that's not true because Paige is older.
I was about to say, yeah.
Quite a few of them.
Okay.
What's in the journal, Brendan?
Please. This is why this was a three game session.
What am I looking at?
It's clear that this is a journal of some kind. The journal entries are not consecutive. There are more tasks and writing practice in between. The writer does talk about Lady Maria quite a bit, explaining that she came from a poor family and so she empathized with the writer's lack of education. And so she was clearly the person who led these teachings. You also, from looking through the important bits and pieces, you pick up the address of Yellowcrest Manor. You also see the names of Violas and Maria's children. Their sons are Malik and Janice, and their daughter is Tiana. You see that they...
Could you list them by age, oldest to youngest?
Yes, in that order. So Malik and Janus, and then Tiana.
Okay. And the first two are boys.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
The writer also makes mention of the fact that the Yellowcrests owned several tanneries and shoemaking shops. Would be bug-related tanneries.
I'm sure you could make leather out of bugs.
Yeah. Yeah, probably like the underside of
Try
giant caterpillars or things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's doable.
Or just, made out of, vegans make fake leather all the time out of plants.
Yeah.
You can make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
There's also mention of one of Lord Violus's business associates is a Gallus named Farrell, who visited Lord Violus twice a fortnight. In one of the sweetest entries, and I don't know, maybe this catches Fig's eye in particular, the writer talks about her beau, who's a young warrior named Vekin, who lived close to the manor as well. It also seems apparent from the writing and the title of this journal and the fact that the name Sarah is never mentioned in the journal entries that the writer is Sarah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The last journal entry is preceded by a number of slightly darker entries where Sarah talks about growing concerns over the Lord's behaviors and the company that he's keeping. So the last entry reads, in fact, it reads, I stole close to Lord Violus today and saw that he had chalked a circle marked with strange runes across the floor of his study. A puddle spread within the circle and appeared to me as bubbling blood. Lord Violus stood next to it motionless, one of his vile books in hand, and muttered something I could not hear. I slipped away quickly, though I fear he might have heard me this time. I have never been so scared, but I must tell Lady Maria what I have seen. I must.
Final
I'm
entry.
going to put that in our Zoom chat as well if anyone wants to reference it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have returned.
Oh,
I
okay.
have performed a small amount of investigation of my own. I tried saying Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor 3 times into a mirror, and nothing happened.
At that point, the mist coalesces around the book. You all grow cold, and then the mist forms the shape of this servant woman.
But clearly,
Well,
I was supposed to have
Oh.
done it in front of the book instead.
It was meant to be. Okay. Hey, Sarah, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
She nods at you and goes to open her mouth and moans, but you can see that she's not able to talk.
Okay. This is your book. We've been reading it. Did you bring this here? Is there a friend that brought this here?
She looks blankly.
Do you want us to find who did this to you?
She looks down at the diary entry that you have open, and she points to Lord Vialis.
Was
That's who
Lord
did it to you?
Vialis?
That's who did it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
She
But how did you
nods.
prove it?
Then she looks down at the diary again, and she goes to tap the name Lady Maria repeatedly, but being spectral, her finger goes straight through. But
Lady
she seems
Maria.
quite distressed, and she keeps gesturing to this name.
She's dead too, yeah? But she's in trouble? Okay.
Why?
Think
Oh,
she
I'm
can
sorry,
only
you
answer yes or
can't.
no.
Was it to
Is it
do
something
with
to do-
Lord Vialis?
Is it at the house? No.
Not at the house.
So it's something to do with him. Is he in town? No.
It would not be hard to find out where he moved.
Okay.
May I?
See,
May
you
I
can
ask,
see.
may I ask? May I look inside your mouth, dear?
It's okay. You can
She looks a bit, pun not intended, sheepish, but then leans forward and opens her mouth.
I'd like to see if I can examine what did that to her tongue.
Okay. Make a medicine check with disadvantage because this is a ghost.
Yep.
Can I try the same thing but with investigation? I think that's probably
Sure.
something I
Yeah,
would do.
it's straight investigation for you, I think.
At disadvantage, you said?
With disadvantage,
just
19.
Straight for you.
Oh, straight for me? Okay, I'll take the higher number then, which is a 28.
Oof.
Cool. Sorry, Josh, what did you say? 18?
A 19.
19. Yeah. Great.
Defer to Josh, I
Um,
think, because it was Josh's idea.
Sure. If there's other things, I'll spread it around.
A plus. Yep.
So, Gallo, the tongue, you can still see some of the rough roots of the tongue. This looks like it was plucked forcefully.
Oh.
It wasn't cut.
Ripped out.
Yeah, ripped out.
I am
but-
so sorry.
You would also be aware, both of you would be aware that that would not be the cause of death.
No. That's actually worse.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Okay.
There-
you can't
there's no
bleed to death from a
other-
tongue wound?
Trauma, but eventually, but it would take ages.
Take a while, yeah.
But
Okay.
you would both suspect that, just logically thinking, she probably wouldn't have been left alive in this state for long.
If the tongue wasn't, could my natural 20 have figured out what could have happened to her? Like, are there holes on her? Is there markings? Is there burns?
Yeah, you looking at her, you in fact, as you're examining her tongue, I would say something else catches your eye further down her throat. You can see
God.
the shimmer of spectral water. It looks like she was drowned.
Drowned. Were you drowned, darling? Can you show us where?
She is mouthing things
You have a
and it is starting to get frustrated.
Okay. All right. Give me a second, and I'm going to write down the names of all the important players, and just go. Okay, point to what you want. Yeah, point to what's important.
Right. So you
and I'll
just
write
write the
yes, no, and I'll let you guys jump in. Anything like she can point to that, like, would be useful. This is a group thing, so whatever you guys think might be
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely. I will also say, if you want to ask leading questions, you can then make insight checks to try to determine, you're not strictly limited to yes or no. It's just she can't speak.
Actually, I have an idea.
Doc.
I can't claim credit for this. This is from Breaking Bad. I'm gonna write down the alphabet, and then I'm going to put it in like a row 1 and across. So I'll go and they'll be like A B C D E. That's row 1. Row 2 is F G H I J, and through that, I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then she'll like put a finger up, and she can tell us what she wants us to do. Like one letter at a time.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Hexadecimals?
So Ouija board.
The Ouija board, yeah.
It's basically a Ouija board, but it's what they used for the bell guy in Breaking Bad, because he just went ding, and it's like, oh, row 3, and then went across.
Yeah, sure. You all would understand how time-consuming that is, which is not a problem. But I would imagine you would probably, either way, you would be wanting to lead her with questions.
Yeah.
But at Tali's prompting of let us know what you're concerned about, she would tap the names of Lady Maria, Malik, Janice, and Tiana.
They are
and
all
then
dead. Are
she
they
would gesture
still
to
in
herself.
danger?
If time isn't an issue, I think that it might be the best thing to just use the board. Like, just for the sake of brevity, maybe just tell us what the sentence is, and you can tell us how much time passed.
Sure. She spells out remains.
Ah.
Remains.
Oh no.
Fig, roll a religion check for me, please.
Thank you.
I'm on the job, Bishop Blood.
That is a 17.
Yeah. I'm sure all of you would know, but you particularly, being a follower of the Amaranthine, would understand the importance of being buried in hallowed ground, particularly in the cases of sudden or tragic death. So the fact that she seems particularly distressed about this and is referring to herself gives you the impression that she is, and her saying remains, gives you the impression that she's concerned about the spirits of the family, and that they are still somewhere and not at peace.
Okay. I imagine Tali would have a map of the Elder Heart. It's like, do you know where they are? Point. Yeah?
Not a lot of cemeteries in the Older Heart.
No.
Well, I imagine they're not in a cemetery, and that's the point.
Yeah. She shakes her head. She doesn't know where they are.
So you've been like this for 5 years, darling.
She kind of looks at you blankly.
Yes, no.
Yes.
If she has any notion how long she's been like. Fig, do you have anything
nods.
to add?
Definitely seems like she doesn't know time.
So we need to find you and everyone's remains and get them buried, but you don't know where. Is that it? Is there anything else we need to know?
If we open the book again, if we have more questions, five.
Okay.
Yeah, she spells out with the book.
Okay.
We will try
So
to
we-
free you all.
She shakes her head and then points at the names of the family.
After.
We'll set you free.
Sweetheart, you have been a loyal servant, but it's about time that you put yourself first. We're working on that for all humble folk, okay?
She smiles and looks down a bit and then disappears.
But she wanted the children to be rescued. She's a good girl.
Did she have any next of kin? Did it say?
I would probably have that information because the next of kin would have had to be contacted when the
It mentioned the
stuff happened.
boyfriend.
Never did.
Yeah, the only for her would be her love interest, Veckin.
Veckin.
Who you mentioned I might know.
No, just be interested in.
Yeah,
fair.
yes, yeah. So yeah, that was what I intended. That you just might like that there was a little thing between them.
Okay.
Although, look, what has Fig been doing over the last few years? Like,
Good question.
has
What does Fig do?
Who has been
like an adventurer? Have they been like spending time in the Old Heart or in one particular location?
So Fig did go off to be an adventurer. That's where she met her mentor, who guided her in the ways of becoming a paladin, because that seemed just the right thing for her. And yeah, she returned and went straight for the roots. So she hasn't really been through the Outer Heart much. She's pretty much stuck to the roots.
Okay. Go ahead and make a history check for me then.
Okie dokie. That is a 12.
12. Okay. Yeah, the name Veckin doesn't really mean anything to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
says here that he lived not far from the manor.
What time is it at this point?
Probably, yeah, close to evening.
Like
If
5
anyone
o'clock,
would
6
know where
o'clock?
she
5
was-
o'clock.
If
ahead.
anyone would know where she was heard or not,
It will be him, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple of hours. I do need to make sure that they get to bed. But I think we have time to stop by.
And you've got a couple of leads as well. There's potentially Veckin. There is the fact that there are several businesses that were owned by the Yellowcrests.
Right.
This business
partner.
partner, Beryl as well. So I think while the players are mulling over their options, this is probably a good time to take a break.
yeah.
So we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes.
Alrighty.
Thank you very much, everyone. See you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 3-year anniversary of Josh the Pirate's Corsair's Cove Humblewood World.
Hooray!
This is Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor that we are playing in this 3-shot. And in fact, our 3 investigators have just met Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor.
It was lovely.
Yeah,
If a little
poor girl.
quiet.
Wow. Yeah.
Set in character.
Non-verbal.
If you can hear us, darling, I apologize for him.
You feel a pressure against your crotch, Gallup. No.
I was not meaning any offense, and
You've
mine
heard
are
of Ghost
internal.
Dad. Now get ready for a ghost kick in the nuts.
Ghost nads. Yeah.
Oh.
So
It's not the moon of being ghosted.
right inside. It's like slightly incorporeal too, so you feel it inside the testicle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
cloaca.
move on from that. Where would
Extra pain.
it's about 5? It's close to evening time. Where would you like to start with this investigation?
Well, the boyfriend seems like the easiest one. Do we know where he lives, or do we need to find out?
No, it does give the location in the older heart of
Right.
at least where he lived
The
5
last known
years ago.
address. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be where. I mean, we could split up, but you know.
With the deepest respect, with the way things are, you two would be well accompanied. Feathered individual.
I don't disagree. First, you're good company.
Well, there is that. I will not apologize for the action of folk, but
No, should you? It's not your fault.
only because of exactly that.
We're working together, man, to make it so that individuals are accountable. But I appreciate it nonetheless. I mean, I can't speak for Fig, of course.
No one
Fig
speaks for me.
may or may not be aware of tensions growing in the old heart between the feathered folk and the furred folk. That's up to you how you think Fig would interpret that, but there have certainly been a number of not outright altercations, but more humble folk who are able to starting to leave the older heart.
And some people getting moved out of their homes.
Fig would probably be aware of that.
Yeah.
Her family may or may not have been a group affected.
Mhm.
Okay, boyfriend, let's get it sorted. And then I think we'll probably need to call it for the night because the kids get very annoying after 9 p.m. I want them in bed by then.
Okay.
And you need to make sure they actually eat pizza.
That make sure they eat pizza. That won't be a problem. I promise. It's not my cooking. That's how I know they'll eat it.
They did get
But only
pizza, by
free.
the way.
Of course they did. I trust you.
Okay.
Oh no, I expected the paladin to keep my money.
No, as in not garlic bread.
Oh good. Oh yeah. Okay. Phage didn't try to sneak it up on you. She didn't try to. She didn't put the
No, she knows
the
better.
doe eyes on. Okay, good. Anyway, back to the plot.
No, I want to know where in the older heart makes where's the pizzeria? I want to know
It's in the roots.
the law.
It's in
It
the
would be
roots.
in the
There's a-
roots too,
it's-
because you
it's
know
a
Italians are
Jabin-
mostly blue collar, aren't they?
It's a big Jabin family, and it's it's like 3 of them, 2 a pizza. Like they can. It's
Oh my
actually
god, it's so cute.
it's a full like it's like
Yes.
ratatouille. The
Here's a disturbing thought. What do they use for dairy?
you can
there's
make
plant-
cheese out of
there's
so
plant-
much.
yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Ah, yeah,
Sorry.
true.
Just just look up the word vegan. You'll be
Vegan,
okay.
yes.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
You'll all be
Um,
okay. Internet, look it up.
No, yeah. One of Karen's
Yeah.
favorite pizzas from the place down the road from us that we used to have was the vegan pizza. You just ask for regular cheese; it's so much better. And yeah.
Okay. Pizza in the Humblewood sold.
Canon now.
You it
Not a
sure
great
is.
one.
Yeah. You make your way up the roots, up the branches, to it's one of the not the highest, but it's definitely up there in terms of the branches. It is the same branch that contains the manor. and you would you want to ask around about this person, or would you rather try to find it yourself?
The boyfriend. I wouldn't have any
Yeah.
worry about asking about the boyfriend.
I think that would be all right. Yeah.
Okay. You do ask around about this guy Veckin, and you are pointed to a certainly not a manor, but like a fairly nice hole in the bark, where this is the home of as the locals call him, Sir Veckin, where he lives with his father.
Veckin. Sarah was doing well for herself.
Sure.
Gallo, I think it would probably be smarter if you do the talking. I'll just be in the background and I'll jump in if needed, but I get the feeling that, all things considered.
I'll add that some refer to him as Sir Veckin of the Broken Horn.
Ooh.
I'm trying not to make a dirty joke, but it's very difficult.
That's probably for
I
the
appreciate
best.
that because we're very clean here on this
This is
channel.
it, yeah.
I'm in character in front of the paladin.
Holly, what kind of joke were you going to make?
About the broken dick, honey. We'll talk about it.
Oh.
It's okay.
I'd be one of those servants which has a bone in it. And I knock on the door.
Thank you. You knock, and after a few moments, a servant with thick grey woolly fur opens. He has two curled, quite large horns, but one is snapped off, broken.
This is clearly
at
not
the
Brecken.
end.
Would you be Brecken?
Yes, I am. I know you. It's good to see you. I'm sorry, I can't remember where we met last.
Do I in fact know this person?
No.
Okay.
It's the rich people like, yeah, it's you. Yeah, the
I
thing we went
apologize.
to.
Now it's too late to ask for.
I feel
You'd ask for mine. I know.
I feel you have mistaken me for someone else. I do not believe we are acquainted, though I would seek to change that. My friends and I are following up on a cold case, and we are looking to ask you a couple of questions. Have the time?
I'll show him the badge, whatever the equivalent is. Maybe it's on the belt, maybe it's on the thing, whatever.
Sure. Oh, my apologies. You look like well, maybe not yourself, ma'am, and he looks to Tali, but you look like the sort that I would have caroused with back in the day in my adventuring days. So I thought that, from time to time I have people call by. So my apologies, but also I'm happy that I haven't forgotten some old friends.
Well, perhaps you could stand to make a new one. I am Gallo Braspur. These are my associates, Miss Sable Paw and Miss Miguel.
Yes, please. You said you wanted some help with the case. Please, come on in.
My thanks. Ladies.
Don't mind if we do.
Well,
Jack, it looks like Jack is frozen. I which is fine. I assumed that Tali was concerned.
Yeah.
Sure. So the three of you go into Vecken's home where he has a fireplace is a thing within the old heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Dangerous thing.
Yeah, yeah. So there's he invites you all to his living room, which is relatively comfortable, but you can see there are some subtle signs of dilapidation.
I see. I'm actually in
So
mine.
we've all.
I
I'll
don't
just
want
be
to
the
move
DM
it.
now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to change
I'll be
anything. He'll be
Tali.
back in a moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for accommodating us, sir. Well, this is a delicate matter. It concerns an old friend of yours, Miss Sarah.
Yes.
And he kind of looks a little lost at Fig, to be honest. We are...
Pig's gonna jump in.
We got a leak, and basically we want to make sure that the remains were buried properly. As religious folk, it really means a lot to us. So when we heard, we wanted to find out more.
Right. Well, Sarah and the other servants were interred in the roots, just like most are. I do remember that Lord Vialis said that he wanted to keep his family close, so he wanted them to be interred in his new home.
And, sir, do
Oh.
you recall where he may have moved to?
I don't know.
That is...
I just know that he said that he didn't want to have to come back to the older heart again because of the memories.
See.
Okay. So he's moved away from the Alder Heart.
Shortly after the murders, yes.
Did you attend the funeral? I don't want to presume of your friend.
I did, yes.
So you actually witnessed the interring of the body?
Of Sarah, yes, I was one of the only people there.
So I would ask, not important, but could you direct us to exactly where we might find them?
Yes.
I give you my word that they will not be disturbed.
Okay. And he does give you
Location.
he tells you that, you know, there's probably one specific burial place beneath
If there
the
was going to
roots.
be any burials in the Holder Heart, it would be in the roots, and that would make total sense. Yeah.
And so he gives you an approximate location within the cemetery for you to follow up on. Can I ask why this was a long time ago. Why is this coming back?
Gallo is once again a little like, looks at Fig.
Well, to be frank, we're not sure. Something was delivered to a friend of ours that just said we needed to pay attention. So we're trying to help to clear up the loose ends and make sure everyone gets to rest peacefully.
Do you think you might know who's at the bottom of this?
That is our intent to find out.
We can't speculate, but we want to find out.
Indeed, it would be wrong to speculate.
Of course. Yes.
There we go.
All right.
Oh,
Welcome
dear.
back.
You're back.
Um,
Right.
I've been listening on the stream on my phone,
Fantastic.
so I somewhat know what's going on.
that's okay.
Nope.
Do you want a recap of anything, or is there anything that Tali would chime in on?
My understanding is that they were asking about where the bones were buried, and that's about all I managed to catch thus far.
Yeah,
That seems to be
so
the important details.
We've got a
of this.
location.
Right.
Yeah, Vecin specified that Sarah and the other servants had been buried in the Older Heart, and that the family had had their remains moved elsewhere to be close to Lord Vialis's new home.
Okay. If Tali might have something to add, but I think I'll wait until there's nothing these two want to say, because they've been in the conversation from the get-go. So I'll add at the end.
Well,
good?
we don't want to keep you any further, sir. But thank you for your hospitality and stepping back into a painful memory. Tali, did you have anything you wish to add? And you can tell Gallo is not... He's awkward because he just called you Tali.
Oh, is that a problem?
No, he just doesn't normally call people by their first name. Surname.
Okay, then I think that Tali would probably
With such a high passive
raise a
investigation, she'd be like,
eyebrow, like just like and give him a little like. We'll talk about that in a minute.
My apologies, Miss Magira. Do you have anything you wish to add?
I'm going to adjust my invisible skirts, my English dress, and just go no. I'm going to say so may I have my notes, one moment. May we call you Vecin? Is that all right?
Please.
Okay, Vecin. I'm going to speak frankly with you, because I think if anyone deserves to know the truth, it is you. There is something that, as you know, this case has been cold for some time. I think you probably met my captain,
Yes.
Captain Reynolds. I was his understudy, if you like, and it has been something that I've been paying attention to for some time. But with this new information, it is worth noting that the source of said information is still unknown to us. You are connected, and therefore, I feel the need to tell you that it is important that you keep yourself safe, and that you be available for any questions that we might have in the future. Is there somewhere that you can go that less people know about?
No, I'm I'm not leaving my father here alone, but I don't
I
have any
understand.
concerns about being able to defend either of us.
I have children of my own. I understand. It is important to look after family. But for the sake of your father, it may well be worth keeping your head down.
At least tell me who I should be on the lookout for.
If I knew, I would tell you, sir. It is my job. And I will also tell you for free that it frustrates me to no end that I have no answers for you. I wish I did. But I promise you this. If I can find who did this and bring them to justice, you will be the first to know. Yes?
Please, keep me in the loop.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, there may be places that we need to be. Thank you for your hospitality.
You're welcome. Please don't let me keep you.
Thank you. I apologize. Bringing up what is no doubt a painful. Again.
Tali, you would notice you're all in his living room. You would notice a small sketch on a table of Sarah.
It was beautiful.
And from what I have learned, very canned.
He was. Anyway,
Yes.
it's almost time for my father's dinner,
Sure.
so
Yes,
I must attend to him.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a pleasant evening, sir. And Gallo takes the lead on leading away, knowing full well that the man is not going to have a pleasant evening.
Tali is going to, as soon as we get out the door, do the typical move that she does when she's kind of overloaded and lock her hands behind her head and just go,
Miss McGill, while I do not necessarily disagree, being on one's guard is never a bad idea, but I do not feel that there is significant threat to that man. This was 5 years ago.
I think you misunderstand. I did it partly because he may be innocent, and partly to see if he does something, my friend. We
With
cannot
that
hurt any
said,
suspects right now.
can I make a retrospective insight
I would
like-
like to do the same thing. And I
on
forgot to.
his reaction to that comment?
To which comment?
To the implication that he might be in danger because of his connection to this crime.
Sure. Anyone who wants to make an insight check.
Because I straight up didn't get what Tali was putting down there. 26?
22.
Okay.
Mine's not letting me. I give up.
Roll your squishy. Roll the squishy. I
Yeah.
want to know.
Yes.
Oh, giant chunk dice. Yeah.
Please.
That was an 18.
Nice.
Oh, is that
18,
total?
22, and 26. Is that right?
An 18 on
Yeah.
the dice.
Yep.
Oof.
Oh, good lord.
Gonna be big.
I've got your character sheet in front of me. That would be a 19 then.
Yes, because it's only a +1.
Great.
Still pretty good.
So yeah, all of you would have picked up that he wouldn't have gotten any implication that he was being investigated himself. You
No,
didn't get
That wasn't the intention either. It was more just to let him know
no.
that we have more information than he knew before.
Yeah. He's part of his reaction, and this was probably the more overt part anyway, was one of being very assured of himself. But yeah, frustrated that he doesn't know the source of what this thing is, but and that frustration really seemed to linger with him throughout the remainder of your conversation. But he seemed prepared to defend himself and his family.
Gotcha. Well, just in case there is something to do with all the connections to this case, of which I am technically one, he is on his guard. It's not a bad thing.
No, as I say, I apologize. I did not intuit your intention. It was wise of you. But that's why you are the detective and I am not. Well...
By the way, are we friends now?
We have been friends for, I would say, many years.
Yeah, but we're on first name basis now.
Of course we are. We have been for ages. You call me Gallo all the time.
Mm-hmm. And
I call you as you are named, McGear.
I'm gonna get you, you know. I'm gonna get you. You're gonna call me by my first name?
If you would prefer I do, I certainly will.
No, I don't know. I don't want you to do it because I told you to. I want you to feel comfortable enough that you do it. You visit my kids every other time that you're in town, man.
And I call them Ms. McGear as well.
Which gets very confusing. That's part of the problem.
Yes. At least
I
with
don't know
the
if you're
boys,
talking to
I am
me
able
and
to
then
do
I'm cooking.
Master or
God.
Minimus.
Anyway, what time about now is it?
Hour or so, that?
Yeah, it'd be 5:30 to 6 or equivalent.
Oh, okay, we've still got time. I will open it to the floor. I've been talking a lot. What do you guys reckon?
Well, we've checked the boyfriends, so
Right.
we could go to the businesses, but they're probably closed for the day.
I'm thinking is possibly check out the grave.
No, I don't mind that. Before we do that, if you give me a second, I found this on some of my adventures out into the other planes, and I showed them a shield that has looks quite simple. It's I imagine I don't know what the term is, but it's like it's basically a Zelda shield, like you know the standard kind of steel thing with the
A heater
like that.
shield.
Thank you, sir. The however kind of drawn on it, I imagine she would probably have written down in Vulpin like I don't know, I'm just making this up, like you know, like maybe like there's like it's like runes or something like that. It's like the first letter of all her mates that she made on the Candlekeep adventure, and so they're all kind of around. And if we're happy to just kind of hang out for 10 minutes, basically I will use the ceremony attached to the shield, and we have advantage on wisdom saving throws to do with being frightened. But there's a lot of awkward kind of like, it's almost done. Just stop looking at me. Because 10 minutes is a long time. I imagine we just make small talk, just waiting for it to happen. How are you? Oh, good.
Well, that
Would you
can-
do this like when you're back in the roads on your way to the cemetery?
Yeah, if I'm allowed to walk and do it, then yeah, why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
We catch an elevator down the trunk. I think the only other the businesses will probably be closed. So the only other place we could probably find do some things this evening is learn a little bit more about where this Yellowcrest has moved.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, some of my pals will still be working. There's people
That was my
working every
thinking.
shift. Yeah, and we could.
Reconnaissance time.
What?
Reconnaissance time. Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance time. Sorry. I'm like, yes.
The emphasis is on the wrong syllable.
We both, Gallo and Tali are like, what? One more time? Come again?
Yeah.
Your pardon? What?
Yeah. Well,
Bless
I
you.
think we could probably find that out, and also maybe do a little sweep just in case there's anything sus happening. I'm not safe. Sussy fucking flower.
Sussy flower.
Oh my
Language,
God.
ma'am.
Well, look,
Be very careful.
it's up to you when and where you want to do things, but if you do have any interest in investigating the manor itself, you are currently in the area.
I think the manor. I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone. I think the manor should wait until we've done everything else. And then.
I've got the cold balls to go into the manor at night. I don't see any difference.
It's not about that. It's oh man, I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's like I need to know what's going on before I go into the manor. I play too many Call of Cthulhu. I run too much Call of Cthulhu. I know what happens when you go, oh, it'll be fine. I know we're playing D&D, but you can't take the investigator out of the game.
Okay.
I love all that I had to do was mention the word
Suggest it.
Lovecraft, and I triggered Jack's paranoia. And I love
This
that.
it's my favorite game. I know how it fucking works.
I love that
probably
we're not
overhyping
playing it.
Yeah.
Yet.
I mean,
Yeah.
Angry.
Just
Anyway.
reskin the entire thing.
I mean, he's heavily put it down, but I am sticking to my guns because she's a fighter.
For expediency, perhaps Miss Sable Paw and I can investigate the gravesite while Tali, you utilize your connection to the watch and get the.
But I don't think it will take too long.
I would hope neither will the grave.
Well, I just mean I can make a pit stop, ask them what to do, and then I'll join along. It's easy enough.
You
I
could
just get
probably
the
all go past on the way. It would be relatively close to where you are now too.
Yeah,
At least on the way.
I'll just give them a list, and I'm technically doing pro bono work for all of them. They fucking owe me.
Sure.
You are not being
They-
paid
they-
for this?
Pal, I know it's a little bit different when you're all charity and chaste and have orders and temples and that sort of thing. But when you're
Wait,
literally
so
a
I am
grunt,
not being paid for this?
I will pay you out of what I can.
No, darling.
Okay, well, I don't mind, you know that. But I mean, right now it's hard, you know that. A lot of people are working but not working because we don't want to be under orders to kick people out of their homes.
You need a new job, ma'am. Or a new boss.
I think I'm too old to find the Amarantines now, but I'm waiting for a sign.
That was not my intent. I do know that the Wildwood Brigade are hiring.
They're
If
looking for
I-
a new major.
If I
No. That position has been filled.
if I leave, then I don't want to blow my own horn, but I get the feeling it would all fall apart. There are good people in there, and they need hope.
Well, then let's go and stop by them.
Yeah. Fig, they like you. You can do that thing you do.
Oh yeah, that thing.
The thing, yeah. I don't know. Magic trick. You're-
Just pulls out a deck of cards and it's just
I-
like again. Fine.
Big starts unbuttoning, and they're like,
How dare you?
"Hi,
Wow. Great. So you go past the Perch Guard office, probably one branch below. is there anyone that you are trying to avoid, or
I think that's a
anyone
you. I think that's a point for you. I don't really think so. Like, I mean, I get the feeling that I think it's just kind of an unspoken thing, right? You know, like it's like a lot, like the majority of the workforce are gonna be like, she's allowed to be here. It's not illegal to take leave, and it's not illegal to revisit your workstation. And everybody's just kind of like, it's like being like a Batman supporter in Gotham, I imagine. It's like, what bat signal? I don't know what you're talking about. The faulty equipment. Fuck off. You know. It's very similar. You know. So yeah, I'll just find my people and just kind of go like, did you have a thing, Vic, or did I throw you under the bus?
Pick a card, any card?
Sure.
I know this. She does the card.
I do not know this. What?
Biggest very
your person is a hedge called Bashel.
Bashel. Okay.
Bashel. Yeah.
Right. Sounds like Basil of Baker Street, but with a lisp. Bashel. Okay. Cool.
Bashel.
Bashel.
Okay. I pick this one, and she points to a card.
Awesome. Okay, don't show me. What card is it? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Think of it. Remember it. Don't.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put it back in. I'm gonna shuffle it,
I love this.
and I'm gonna throw it on the floor.
Well,
Pick it up again. Put it back together. Okay, is this your card?
yes. Great.
That is impressive.
All paladins can do that, right?
I haven't asked.
Harley, as this is going on, you're looking around and you are noticing obviously Bashel is here, but there are a lot less humble folk here than there were last time you were here.
A lot of quiet quitting. Okay.
Not so quiet, and not quitting.
You know what I mean, goddammit. Okay. Okay. Well, for the sake of brevity.
How can I help?
Yeah. For the sake of brevity, I give him a list and I say, Bajul, hold down the fort. I'll be back. It looks like there'll probably need to be more people in on the thing. Just let me know what's going on, yeah? You okay?
You know, someone's got to stay and try to do the best for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Just
But I know that you're doing your best, and that's, I think, where you need to be right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just keep me posted, and remember, they're not all bad. In fact, a lot of them supported me under the hood. I can't tell you who, but just keep it in mind, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And I'll do the predator handshake, and then I'll leave.
Right.
Fate of the Dice, thank you very much for the raid, you bloody champions. Avast, mateys. You wee scallywags. Guys, if you want another excellent D&D channel, go and check out Fate of the Dice. Yeah, I put a link up in chat, you bloody champions. Thank you so much for bringing your folks here. We are playing some D&D. This is our 3-year anniversary of the Humblewood world. And 10 seasons
To this day.
on. Yep, to this day. This is actually the day. And 3 years and 10 seasons on, and we have another Gerbine Paladin.
Yay!
Yes.
Sorry, Brennan, carry on.
Great. So, out of character, what information were you after from them?
I give him a
Tali?
list of all the businesses so he can get some people to just do a sweep, see if there's anything sus happening there at night, because they're on the beat anyway, at least some of them. And I'll come back for that information in the morning. I'm also going to get him to do some research on where the Lord had moved to, because that would be on public record, almost certainly, because he's a big famous dude. And I would also... Was there one more thing? I think there was. Guys, does anyone remember?
Farrell, possibly the his
Right.
business partner.
Mhm.
Right. Where he might be if we don't know,
Yeah.
which it sounds like
Okay.
we don't. So yeah, those locations and checking
Oh,
that the
and whether or not-
locations.
Whether or not the Yellowcrest Manor was sold. I mean, we can find out
Right.
relatively easily by going there,
Yes.
but
Still inhabited.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, they say that they are happy to look into that for you and come past in the morning, and they will have that. In fact, they say, look, just to keep things on the down low, I'll send things over to. Are you still based in the same borough?
Yeah, man.
Okay, I'll send you the info there.
Okay. All right. Do what you gotta do. Okay. I owe you donuts. I'll be back.
Good to see you again.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks
and
for
I
the
will-
trick.
You're welcome.
So how do you do that? Because Tyler's children tried to show me as well, and
They've been learning. Yeah.
well, they made me pick the cards up, and that was the trick.
They got some learning to do.
We
I
only
feel-
got half the last time I was teaching them.
Right, I see. Please finish teaching them, because my back is not as it was.
Welcome to my world, asshole. Okay. All right. Let's go to a grave.
Back.
Not a competition, guy.
So, so to the cemetery. Is that right?
To the cemetery! Wait, no.
Fantastic.
Away!
So I feel like one of the big points, and Josh, feel free to jam with me here, but I feel like in the Older Heart, one of the big points of burials would be to rejoin the Older Heart and to feed the Older Heart.
To rejoin the plane,
Mm.
you normally go up or down, so it's the intent would be to rejoin the plane of life, ideally, and the Older Heart is seen as something of an avatar of that. So
Yeah.
it's not well known, but there is a node of the life magic in the roots, which is why it would be a really good place to be buried down there. It gives you a good chance of finding your way back to the plane of life.
Yeah. So because of that, and because the decomposition of the body would be looked upon favorably.
Question.
Oh yes, sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to briefly interrupt for YouTube records. We have a Dan in the chat.
We
Hey,
do.
buddy.
Yes.
Dan,
Hello.
who is one of the big OGs, right?
Yeah?
Yeah.
The
yeah.
original four.
That's how he be. Yeah. Hey, man. Just wanted to say hi and thanks for being here, my friend. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
We appreciate you, Dan. Happy birthday to the
Yes,
Humblewood.
Just
I was
you know.
just going to say it would not be out of place to wish Dan a happy birthday, as he was one of the original cast.
Hmm.
3 years to the day.
Birthday happy you to continue.
So there probably wouldn't be much in terms of coffins, or maybe incredibly biodegradable coffins, and probably at least down here with primarily humble folk, no mausoleums or anything like that. So while the bodies would have been buried here, and there would be memorials carved into bark, there you wouldn't be expecting much in terms of remains.
No, a plaque on the wall is what I'm...
Yeah. And you have been given directions to where Sarah was buried, as well as the other servants. So you are able to find those fairly easily.
Yeah, let the bodies be buried under the floor, actually, I think is the intent.
Let them be buried. Let them be buried properly. Buried properly. Let them be buried. Doesn't work as well.
Too many people put in weird lyrics on songs in this world.
Follow the proper procedure.
Yeah.
Proper
So we
health and safety.
Responsible disposal of bodies. Yeah.
so
It's like death metal ABCs.
R-E-S-P-C-T.
I would like to investigate the grave to see if it has been disturbed.
Sure. Roll investigation check. Anyone else wants to investigate anything here, or otherwise check?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, maybe Tali would be better. Yeah,
No, you shouldn't do. I'm just being a dick. 28.
Oh,
No,
You
I
got
got a
28 as well?
7.
Oh,
I have a +3. This is one of the things I'm not as good at.
right.
kind of one of maybe.
Did anyone else? I'm not watching the rolls. Did anyone else roll, or was it just Gallo?
I got a
Oh,
28.
Tali got a 28.
Okay, fantastic. What is it that you are wanting to investigate or determine?
I get the feeling since it was Josh's thing, I'll just back him up.
Yeah.
I was trying to find out if it had been... I'm wanting to make sure the body is still there.
Yeah.
Good start.
It doesn't appear to have been disturbed from what you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at least certainly not recently. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to determine if the body is necessarily still there without some other type of checking, but there's no evidence that it has been disturbed.
5 years, it'll only be bones.
I don't really feel like digging up a body.
I'm not
today,
exhuming
but if we
something.
have
I
to-
meant what I said to him.
Which part?
I told him it would not be disturbed.
Well, in that case, you better come up with something, because I don't really see another way.
Can I try to detect magic here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Do you want to cast it as a spell slot or as a ritual?
I might as well use it as a spell slot because I think
Sure.
we're almost due for a rest, possibly.
You would hope. Yeah.
would
Wait,
like to be.
actually, I do have a solution. But you carry on.
Yeah. So detect magic, 30-foot radius. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't pick up anything unexpected. You do pick up a couple of blips from your friends. And you also feel not an unpleasant sense, but a huge amount of pressure from above you. It feels like you are in the full light of the sun on a very clear day.
Okay, well, I will go in and have a look. You may not want to watch this. And I use Wild Shape
Okay.
to turn into a worm.
Gonna take you a second, isn't it?
It'll take me a little minute. I can meet you elsewhere later if you wish.
No, it's alright. You can do card tricks for me while you warm it up.
No, I don't want to disturb the grave maidenless. That's why I'm not turning into a badger. Also, badgers are not a thing in this world. Would you still love Gallo if he was a worm? I hope so, because that's what I'm gonna do now. So I turn into an itty-bitty worm. And burrow my ways into the dirt where the grave is. And basically, I'm just looking to determine whether or not I can find any bones in there.
Yep, you can.
Great.
You're pretty happy to... Yeah, you believe that her remains are still here.
Right. I come back out, and I lose that immediately. And say, well, she's still in there. And dust myself off.
I just imagine at this point, Figure's like pulling a card from behind Tali's ear, just being like, "Is this your card?"
How do you get? What the?
I love it. The idea that everyone is just humoring Fig. And in fact,
Tali is not a magic person. She's genuine. No. She's like, what? Fucking hell. Yeah, she's 100% into it. But hearing this information, she'll get out the book again and go, Sarah.
You grow cold as Sarah mist seeps out of the book and coalesces into her form.
Sarah, are these your bones?
She, as soon as she formed, she was looking straight down at the grave. And without looking away from it, she nods.
wood.
Okay. So why are you here, darling? Well, you can't answer that.
She looks up at you and she mouths a few words.
Can I try and figure out what she's trying to say?
Yeah, roll an insight check with advantage. Any of you who want to.
Might as well
18.
join in.
Is 18 enough? Because I can use a trait if I.
Are you kidding me, Nat one?
I got a straight
18 is
20,
fine.
filthy 20.
Great.
I have a 2.
You do have advantage.
I will do it again, but
Can you beat a 20? Very unlikely.
Nat.
Hey! Boom! There it is.
Fantastic.
Fig gets it.
Excellent.
One
You
boy by Nat 20.
all
Nice.
you all recognize the words on her lips. Lady Maria, Malice, Janik, and Tiana.
So not
The
you.
concern is for the children. That is why she is still here. It's unfinished
Can't rest.
business.
Okay. Well, that's a good start. Okay.
At least I have confirmed that you were buried your own self, but we need to find the others. Hopefully, Tali's associates can locate
And they're
as the
good.
Yellowcrest.
They know what they're doing. Okay. You can go
All
back
right.
to sleep now, honey. It's all good.
She nods her head to you and disappears.
Probably not sleep. She's probably here just incorporeal. Poor darling. Okay. Well,
Was a noble thing that she did. Man,
Make sure they all get home safe.
but here's the thing. This has been a cold case for 5 years. This book shows up on my doorstep. She doesn't know why.
so she's probably not incorporeal. She definitely wasn't there. Did you look to see who may have put it? Was it there when you weren't looking? All of a sudden just appeared?
I did clarify that at the time, DM, did I not?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't there when you arrived. It appeared without you noticing it.
No, it just showed up. Now that doesn't mean it wasn't dropped off by somebody. In fact, I think it more likely, but magical shenanigans happened. The question is, why today?
Possibly someone wants this solved.
Again, that's not my question. My question is why today?
Well,
Why not yesterday? Why not a week ago? Why not a year ago?
how long have you been on leave?
About a month.
Would they have known where you'd gone?
I don't know. I don't have any answers. What I'm saying is, I'm not a magic person, but it's easy enough for me to figure out that this day might be significant in a way we don't understand.
What is the date of the murders?
That's a good question. Can we look at that?
Yeah.
We would read that,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, you would have that date in your case files notes, as well as not the date, but the day before would have been dated in Sarah's journal. So, yeah, it's certainly not an anniversary, but there's nothing significant about the date that you can tell, but it was about 5 years ago.
That's going to bug me.
Perhaps. And I know this is going to really rattle your investigator brain, Miss McGarr, but sometimes there does not have to be a specific thing. The person who gave it to you may have just decided that now is the time.
Well, that's bullshit. Because it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years that she has not been able to rest, and now she has the power, and she didn't have an agency, so someone is fucking with us. And I don't like it.
Are we sure they're effing with us? Or are they... Maybe they were also gathering information, and they finally got enough to start pointing us where we need to look.
They may have only just found this book.
I admire your optimism in this world. I've got kids to put to bed. Anything else you need to do?
I will see you in the morning.
Tali, do you mind if I read that last page of the book again?
Go for it.
Right. Do you do that here, or do you take that with you while you all separate?
Would Tali allow that book out of her sight?
We have a relationship. If you ask to take it, she will probably compromise and say, why don't you stay? Because there's probably a guest room and she'll fuss over you and all that stuff, and then you get to have your cake and eat it too. Quite literally, there'll probably be cake.
If there's cake, why am I
Leftover
leaving?
pizza.
Good question. What's my name?
I have used it several times. You noted each one, I'm sure. Tali.
Okay, cake it is. Come on in. And I'll take him home.
Fantastic. Okay. I'm not going to role play your 7 children.
No, please don't.
I am.
Josh is up for the challenge.
But I will say that the night is pleasant after kind of the kids have gone to bed. Fig, is this something that you want to do by yourself, or that the 3 of you are looking over this together?
Would Gallo be able to look over this? Because I remember last time he couldn't look at the journal,
It's a
so
journal.
maybe
Yeah,
It
it's
was
private.
a point of honor. If this is pertinent to the case, I didn't want to just go reading through some young lady's thoughts. But if this is a point of order to the case, then certainly.
And I think she's given her permission.
I do feel that way, yes.
So then,
I think she's probably got the youngest one on her knee, just kind of like because she's being fussy, just like, okay, come on. Yeah, go ahead. I've got my hands. They're busy, but go.
so Fig, you open the book to the last page of the journal, but your hand slips slightly and it goes 1 page further, and you see a sketch, which is titled Lord Vialis's book, and there is a sketch of the book with some kind of monstrous figure on it.
We didn't catch that before?
No, that's DM forgetting.
I forgot to read the last page, my bad.
Yeah, you were also concerned about the ghost.
Well, the ghost happened. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's fair.
because Gallo imagines. I
Did
didn't
I mention that to you?
Sometimes.
Yeah, my bad. There you go. Yeah, there's a demon form, my bad.
Yeah.
Should have said that.
But the figure on this book is a circle of teeth surrounded by another circle, in fact, several concentric circles of teeth surrounded by a blob-like body with 8 tentacles reaching out. So that is the shape on the book as described by Sarah.
Wow.
And
Did
I
you ask for
double
the
check
brand?
that. I double check that. Sorry, stand by.
Child is not looking.
Yeah. Well, that Mika is asleep, and she is. Like, yes. Okay.
Miss.
Would any of us have any,
Yeah.
like, would any
You're
of us
two are
know?
more likely than me.
There is something else. There's also on the
But
same
I forgot
page.
that too.
Yeah.
Great.
There is a drawing of the runes as Sarah saw them.
Oh.
Which I'm not going to try to describe. It's a runic kind of circle, but anyone with, I would say, and this might be none of you, but anyone with proficiency in Arcana can do a check. Great.
Thought that might be
Not
useful.
me.
No.
Me too,
Oh.
but nope.
15. It was an 11 on the dice, and it came in 9.
15 is exactly what you needed.
Hey.
You recognize, and obviously there's a little margin for error because this is as an uneducated servant kind of saw through, peeking on the Lord, but you recognize the telltale runes and particular angles and curves of a ritual circle used to cast Contact Other Plane.
Now, this is Josh's knowledge, but would I be able to tell from the style of the rune which?
I'm going to make you roll another Arcana check. And it's going to be a high DC.
Yeah. 14.
Yeah, no.
This is, Miss Sablepaw, that creature there on the cover, does that look familiar? In any of your knowledge?
Look, make a religion check.
Again, here we go.
Is it a huge one? It has 8 limbs, Bishop Blood. I'm pretty sure it's not a huge one.
That was 5.
Is that a
Five?
shirt in the works, by the way? If not, it should be.
My religion checks are terrible. I'm sorry.
I mean, if it's a
That was
religion
5.
check, I can make it. I actually have a +3.
Yeah,
No, it's fine.
got more than me then.
Yeah. No, yeah.
We don't know what it is. That's totally fine.
You don't know what it is.
Yeah.
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 But the book with it on the cover is linked to trying to contact other planes.
Yeah, this is, I don't know much, and I can't tell you which, but those runes that she draw, they are for contacting another plane. Which...
And I will say, mostly for Elibee's benefit, that it is well known that interlopers
a
from the
bad
plane
idea.
of fire specifically have been running rampant within the Humblewood.
Yeah. However, that is always a problem. However, where life and death are concerned, then could well be the planes of life and death.
Can we have one problem in this place that has nothing to do with planes? That would be exciting.
You live in the Humblewood, in the older heart. My guess is no. Although
I'll
I
have
would
to have-
argue that we have a pretty good problem right now that does not involve, at least to my knowledge, another plane.
Didn't you just say that you contact another plane?
No, I was not referring to this. I was referring to Well, the reason that you are not currently employed.
Oh, just institutionalized racism. Yeah.
That does not, I think, have anything to do with another plane. Gallo doesn't
Yeah,
know this,
well,
but it absolutely does.
I'm waiting for it to be revealed to be as such. Wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
I like this build up to the reveal that the Humblewood's closest answer to peace is just kill the older heart.
Oh, Julio. Oh. There's another Turbine I'm about to piss off.
That's going to happen, man. Pretty much everyone becomes homeless, but we have peace, except everyone's
Only a
fucked
third
anyway.
of the population. Hey, Dread. How are you, buddy?
Okay. So you have found those last details that was absolutely the players not asking the right questions and not DM forgetting.
Totally fine.
bad.
Anything else that you would like to discuss about that before you retire for the night?
Wanted to read the
Or
last
shall we
page, right?
skip?
As in not the last page, but the actual last page of the notes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Do you want that again?
Yes, please.
Well, it's actually in the chat for Zoom.
I think
So
it is,
if
yes.
Fig wants to read it, then please be my guest and read it out loud for us.
I can't
Yeah.
see it.
Scrolling,
I
scrolling,
stole
scrolling.
close.
Can I start?
No, please. Sorry,
I stole close to Lord Vialis today and saw that he had chalked a circle marked with strange runes across the floor of his study. A puddle spread within the circle and appeared to me as bubbling blood. Lord Vialis stood next to it motionless, one of his vile books in hand, and muttered something I could not hear. I slipped away quickly, though I fear he might not have heard me this time. I've never been so scared, but I must tell Lady Maria what I have seen. I must.
You suppose
Okay.
she did.
Puddle. I hope she got to tell Lady Maria.
My instinct tells me that she did, and that they tried to run, and then he found them.
Yes. Gallo closes the book gently, like it's in Fig's hands, and he would just sort of put his hands over Fig's and close the book. Say, I have a nasty suspicion that she did exactly that, and that is perhaps why. The more people who know of a crime, the more victims there become.
Explain.
Tell somebody she had her tongue torn out. You do that to keep someone silent.
Well,
She
the good news
mentioned
is
she was
that-
going to tell Lady Maria. Maria is now dead.
Well, the boyfriend doesn't know too much. He just knows enough to kind of keep his head down, and I hope that he will. I kept the details about the, ghost, to myself, as you know. And, I can't imagine that we'll need to tell anyone else specific details now.
I hope so.
Mhm.
The little one is
Me too.
asleep, correct?
Yeah. I had to cover his ears, though. Bubbling blood. Thank you for that.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. You were just reading.
DM, if I connect bubbling blood to the runes, would I have any with that? I mean, obviously, I would probably summon a demon, but would that give
Or the
me
puddle.
any?
Doesn't mean anything to you.
Okay. I just don't know enough about demon summoning and into Palinar travel, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it sounds like a good problem to have.
The plane of blood, Bishop.
I
Well,
like
water
Stop
meets life.
spoiling. I mean, the plane of blood is probably where life and water cross over. Anyway, look,
Oh, dear.
none of you would be privy to the details, but when someone talks about a ritual circle and needing to power it with blood, or like there being blood there, that seems like a fairly basic connection. So yeah.
Well, Gallo, you know this sort of thing better than me. My instinct would be to take it to a wizard, but it seems like we
I may know
we
some.
may want to keep that under our hat, no?
I may know some
Okay.
specialist form of.
Okay. As long as you think it's safe for them to know, that's my concern. You brought it up.
Oh, she is fully capable.
Okay.
She is scary lady. At least as capable as you or I.
Okay. Well,
You may
I
know
think
her
we-
name.
go ahead.
She is known as Catherine Corvamus, though I believe that is a moniker.
It sounds familiar. Famous name? Famous lady?
An investigator. She, for all that she does, moves in a similar circle to you, though a little bit more in the arcane.
In that case, I think DM Tali would probably know her quite well. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like it sounds like, or at the very least, know who she is.
Look, she would probably be a bit of an urban legend.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I think that's a good. I think that's a good plan for tomorrow.
In
To be
which
honest.
case, Miss Sablepaw, may I escort you home?
We have
were
the
you
guest
staying
rooms.
over?
We have guest rooms made up for both of you. You're gonna have to sleep with Paige though, Gallo, but just on the other side, yeah.
I have as pleasant as that does sound, I have a patient I need to see before I sleep. You can insight if you like. He is not being. He
No,
is
no, it's
being
not that. It's
completely
no, no.
honest.
It's not that she thinks he's lying. It's that she's yeah.
When are you
he's
resting?
kind of insulting the mother in her. But she goes, okay, that's okay. Just you eaten enough. You take some cake with you, yeah.
Oh, I would not deprive Paige. He had his eye on that piece. Plus, I need to watch my middle in years.
Okay, all right. Well, there's a bed for you, Fig, if you want to take it, or you can go home. But I would say, under the circumstances, we now know the spooky knowledge, so maybe we should stick together.
I say.
You gonna stay? Okay.
Well, then I bid you two ladies good night.
Okay. We'll see you in the morning, maybe by the station. You can talk to your wizard friend in the meantime, yeah?
I will. We will meet you there. Don't you two stay up all night giving each other pedicures and such.
You're gonna pay for that one.
I am sure, Miss McGarrett. Good night.
Okay.
And he tips the cap he does not wear and leaves.
Did he just milady us? He just miladed us.
Yellow's the biggest incel.
Amazing.
I don't know. It's always so formal with him.
Got to work on that.
Big, how do you end your night?
Well, I'm assuming at this point she's already eaten a whole bunch of cake. So I'm going to say it's going to be a food coma, and she's probably going to walk herself.
Do they give each other pedicures just to spite Gallo?
I mean, how petty are we?
Probably
Manny
not
petty?
because definitely not Manny because yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a little insecure about that. but I will accept. I imagine that she kind of keeps her hair quite loose and curly, and it's quite tangled. So
the hair.
if you don't mind, yeah. Oh God! Yeah, no, it's been a minute. Look, okay, thank you. And yeah, and then she will tuck you in, like to the point where you're almost suffocating, in a grandma itchy blanket, but it's
Tali,
quite warm.
Tali.
Oh, too much?
Can't breathe,
Okay, my bad.
can't breathe.
My bad.
Thank you.
It's to keep the small ones from leaving.
From breathing. Yes.
From breathing. Yes. I got too many. I got to thin the herd.
Tali, how do you end your night?
Suffocating another of her children.
After keeping up a brave face, and being amused, and Fig, I think, brings that kind of delight out in her easier. She then has the room to herself, and as long as she is able, she will spend her time going through the book again, making notes as needed, and then just flicking to each room. And she's designed the room in a very specific way where she can see each and every one of them from her seat, and she adjusts her chair so that it is against the wall, so she can then see the entrance as well. And when she finally starts doing one of these, she will totter off to bed, but reluctantly.
Okay. Well, with our investigators retiring for the night, and with heavy thoughts about how the morning will treat them, we will leave it there, I think. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope this has been a tantalizing little teaser into how things will go. I've had a lot of fun.
Golf class for
And I
Brendan,
hope-
first game stream. Woohoo!
Woo!
Thank you. I
job,
hope all
buddy.
the players have had fun, and I hope you, chat, have had fun as well. Speaking of fun, let's do what I really love Josh stole this from the Dreaded DM, our favorite moments.
Hell
Yeah, let's get a D5 in chat. Why not?
Four. Only four.
4. Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
I
Dread.
can't count.
Seeing as Dreaded GM is here,
Bring it
we've
on
got a
around.
Bishop Blood from number 1, so that's actually me, I think, technically. No, it's not. We start in the bottom corner and work our way around. That makes more sense. We're first
You
of
say
all,
so.
we're going to be talking about Elibee. But after that, we need Dread. If you would roll a D3, please, to determine who goes next. ! Roll space the number 3. But first of all, favorite Elibee moments. I love that. First time here on the channel, and you get to go first. Begin. And after
So
that,
we'll-
it'll be number 2,
That's
which
okay.
which is the DM.
We'll make it easier for you. We'll go first, so you
Yeah.
can have a think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You go last. So
So yeah, who has a favorite Fig Sable Fall moment?
gotta be the magic trick. Throwing the cards in the air. I was like, oh, I love it. Excellent. Yes.
Yeah.
That was very, very cute. Yeah. I have a second, but yeah. Don't want to steal it. Jack? Brendan?
I
Josh, just quickly, could you give us some nice music, please?
Oh, some nicer music?
Yes. This is very. it
This
matches
is
the
actually
Gothic,
my
yeah.
The Roots music.
I love the fact you guys can all hear the music because I can't.
Ah,
I think am I the only one who can't tonight?
yeah. There you go.
Look, Sirenscape is great. Please continue to use Sirenscape.
It's got some problems, but we like them. Yeah.
We do.
I
Yeah.
do like the music when I'm not playing, like when I'm watching. So
It's
good.
Jack,
it's
please.
difficult. It's a difficult thing.
I think for me it was probably the checking of the last page, and it was very interesting to see, like, narratively speaking. Of course, it was because not all the details had been given, but it was like, in my head, it was kind of like the last page hadn't been revealed until like magically we like hadn't, you know, like until we'd like gotten further in the story. That's kind of the headcanon I have.
I really liked it. Yeah.
And like it was like quite dramatically appropriate. And then like you like checked it, and there it was in my head. And I just really like that thoroughness and attention to detail. But the other thing I would say is that when you're like, oh, I was teaching Tali's kids that, I was like you are fitting yourself into the world really well for someone who's like first time at bat in this world, and also I don't want to say relatively new to gaming, but it seems like relatively new. Then
The streaming.
yeah.
Mm.
So well, I meant because she said she was relatively new to D&D beforehand, I believe.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Bishop Blood says when Fig wouldn't say fuck.
Yeah, we got
I
two
did
people
know
that
that.
didn't want to swear yet.
It was lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very good. Mine was probably when you went to visit Veckin and Jack's internet cut out, so it was just Gallo and Fig trying to,
was great.
who probably would have relied on Tali to lead it, and then
No,
Gallo
I asked
getting
them to
very
talk anyway,
awkward.
so it worked out perfectly.
But Fig really stepped up in making that conversation comfortable, and yeah, it was a really nice dynamic with her leading that conversation. So that was nice.
I'm looking forward to watching it for proper context in the VOD.
You didn't ruin anything we did, I promise.
No.
Oh, good.
Favorite self, Ellie.
Don't
Ellie,
worry, Jack, you didn't ruin
We almost did. We were like, and then we were like,
I see.
I was just waiting as Veckin be like, yeah, contradict them, please. Give me no, but no, it worked.
No,
out.
I was listening, so thankfully.
Elibee, what was your favorite self moment?
Again, mine's probably going to be the card games. Like just suddenly being thrown under the bus to do a thing, and I'm like, what am I doing? Card games. Yep, card tricks. Here we go. Terrible ones.
Love it.
I was totally wanting everyone to just be like, just humor me, and then just Tali being actually impressed by it. It's like,
No,
okay,
yeah, it was great.
this is hilarious.
My
Yeah, that's
other
very
little
good.
one was you described in chat what that Fig is actually a bilby.
Yeah,
And
tiny baby.
then you role played when we were all reading the book together. You were like, "Let me you're knocking my ear." That was really, really cute, and
Yes.
I love a little bit of physicality acting. I really enjoy it. It was just like you painted it very. It doesn't take anywhere near as much as some people seem to think it is to paint an image in someone's head, and that really. Yeah, that, as Brendan said, that's character. Someone said that's artwork. That's
was me.
yeah, it was Jack, and I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. I can see this threesome gathered around this book.
Kind of want to
yeah.
commission it, honestly.
Yeah, it's very, very
I've
cute.
got an artist for a partner. I'll just ask her. And I'll
I mean,
pay her.
do it. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'll put you in touch with her. Actually, she'd be keen.
Dread, thank you so much. Dread says, for future reference, gods, I love favorite moments. It's never been mine, though it's everyone. I'm just happy that creativity is being celebrated, collaborated, and cultivated. Keep building peeps up and watch our stories soar. I do love and love and love, though, that I am thankful for it. I do love the love, though, and I am thankful for it. Dread, you are the source of an awful lot of love in the world, and we appreciate the heck out of you, buddy. Big proud.
Dread
Dread
also
rolled.
rolled a 2.
He did, which is
Yeah.
DM.
It is DM.
Favorite DM moments, everybody. I went first last time, so I'm not going to go first again. Yeah, I have several though, so it's fine. Go for it.
Ellie, you want to go?
I kind of do. So
Go for
as a new player to the world, just having you kind of stop and slow down, take your time explaining everything that kind of needed to come through, that was so helpful. and just painted a really nice picture for me. So I was able to get more into it as we went on, and you were really picking up kind of where I needed to go to be able to direct me a little more, because again, very new to this. So it was amazing. Thank you. Best experience by far.
Oh,
Thank you.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
it. For me, it was the end of night stuff, which it kind of encapsulated what I really enjoy about your style thus far, Brendan, which is that you take character moments and you run with them. You listen to what's being put down, and you're like, okay, this is what this player seems to be concerned with in terms of their character development. Let's bring it back into the world, but also let them have their moments, blah, blah, blah. And just simple things like what do you do at the end of your night is great for everybody. It means the DM can take a second and just like unpack or like reference their notes if they need to, but also it lets us consider where the characters are at with the story that's going on. And in this case, it creates a feedback loop where everyone's just getting more invested into the story. So I thought that was a very clever idea. I was very impressed with that.
Thanks.
I thought you put in some really cool. I don't know how much of it was the book and how much of it was you, but given that you are putting it into a new setting, it must have been a fair amount of it was you. The pressure, describing the pressure from I love it when you use the spirit when DMs use the spirit of the spell rather than the what is written. Detect magic, when you got that when Fig felt that pressure pushing down from above. I was like, it's a 30-foot range. That's nothing. But like, I really loved that little detail, and how you slotted all of these details into the world. As the father of the world, it's really cool to see somebody else rolling with it. I felt you were open to my input, but I never felt the need. I never felt the need to contradict you, or like a couple of times I was said, yeah, probably this. But beyond that, it was just but you would have gone there anyway. Gabby was what I thought. And you did a great job of playing a character I created to fuck with Brendan.
Yeah.
I absolutely thank you so much, Brendan, for DMing my world so I could play in it. Was very,
You're
very
more than
cool.
welcome.
Yeah, favorite self.
Look, that's probably it of I'm happy, and there's stuff that still hasn't come up yet, but with transplanting your world, or the Humblewood world as you've made it your own, into this just Candlekeep adventure, it was really interesting to, every race needs to be translated into an appropriate Humble race, different locations, different like meta plot elements brought in. So yeah, I had a fun time translating the world over, and together kind of expanding that a little bit. For some reason, cemeteries have never come up in four and a
not in the
half
ones
seasons.
you've been in.
No.
It is sort
Not
of
in
a
the older
canon
half.
thing that they do sky burials.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
How does that work? Do they attach a parachute to a body? What happens?
No, you just sort of leave it out, and the elements sort of take
Appeared in.
animals and things. It's done in mountainous areas, Nepal, for example. High mountains. Or the Andes. They'll just leave the body out, and the animals will come and deal with it.
Right, okay,
Because
so
burying
I
it's
have
almost
a different
impossible.
idea of what sky burials are then, because
Yeah.
I just thought you just
You
like,
don't
we
just
go up
yeet
really
it out
high.
the window.
You strap them to a rocket and
I thought that's what it was.
Shoot them into
I'm
the
like,
sun.
That's actually kind of poetic. Like if they're bird
Yeah.
folk, just like attach something
Yeah.
that launches them, and
Yeah,
then
no.
it explodes, kind
It
of like
gets eaten
Vikings.
by the the sky whales. No, but
Look, I don't want to rule that out. That's a great idea.
yeah, look, some of them would.
Yeah.
But I think for humble folk, burial makes perfect sense. Particularly in the older
given
heart.
the older heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Where you want to go back to, and I think it would probably be a fairly major tenet of Julio's nascent religion, would be that, recommuning, re-becoming one with the older heart. So you would almost want to be buried with a root in the grave, sort of thing. Yeah, very, very cool. Loved. Did someone say vulture? Yeah, I mean, we don't have any bodies that need eating right now, Dan.
If this is what gets Dan back into playing Humblewood,
Bennett shows back up like, what? You needed a what? It's 5 years old. I'm good.
Gives it flavour like wine.
Hit me up when you do.
If there's no more DM moments, then Dan, if you're still here, if you want to give us a D2 roll, we can find out who to speak about next.
Bishop Blood said the beginning bit when Brendan made things all spooky and then nothing happened. That was also great. Yeah. You pranked us several times, actually. I really enjoyed that.
Get a chill. Nothing happens.
No, you gotta have that. You gotta have that. You gotta have those like,
Look, building
Dan.
suspense is important, particularly in a slightly spooky adventure like this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, I did have one more Brendan one, because for all that we did tout up the content warning, and it is important, but I felt you dealt with that really well.
Yes.
Because it's important for the narrative. It is a fundamental point of the story, but you handled it in a very in a sensitive and appropriate way. And I appreciated you doing that. And then Dan, the traitorous lurker, has rolled me favorite me moments.
well done, Dan.
And I go last, so you guys have to come up with something to say about me.
Name games was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what we were doing, and then Josh threw out that bait, and I think he knew I was going to take it. I'm just like, oh, that's it. Okay, right, okay.
So it was a misspeak on mine, and then I made it part of the character.
Oh, great. No, I love it. It's great. I think it was a really fun moment and really said something about their relationship. So like the game itself was fun, and your quickness to kind of go like, okay, well, I fucked up, but let's roll with it, and make it a character moment is indicative of your wit, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, Elliot, go ahead if you have something.
Yeah. No, for me, it was just the way you decided that when you came back in, when we'd finished reading the book the first time, and we're like, I tried looking in the mirror and saying,
tried the horror movie thing, didn't work.
And then she fucking showed up. It was so good.
I loved it. It was brilliant.
That's right. You said it in the room. And then she appeared. Oh, Brendan, that was another favorite.
It was very
DM
good.
sure.
It was very good.
For the DM, that was great. But just for Yellow just coming in and 100%. Being like, I tried this.
But I should have done it in front of the book. That's
perfect comedy. Fantastic.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I suspected at the time that Josh had figured out what the trigger was and had used that. Well, I mean, I was just waiting for someone
to say her name out loud, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that was great. I think, and Jack touched on this briefly, but I really liked the world building, but also the relationship building that you opened the doors to in your characterization. You gave us a lot of opportunities to develop how these characters know each other and throwing stuff out there, which, Ellie and Jack jumped on and expanded upon as well. But you really opened the door for that and made
100%.
it make sense why, because I didn't do much preparation with these players beforehand about saying, this is how you know each other and this is how you're connected. I was just very vague. So, that felt like a very organic way of establishing these characters' relationships with each other.
Mm. It's been a while since I played. I don't actually think I've ever played a lawful good character before.
What was your reindeer?
Oh, he's not. He's definitely chaotic.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I usually play chaotic good or chaotic neutral. It's just more fun for me. But so I wanted to play somebody who was that but wasn't boring. He is loosely inspired by a character from the Ravener series by Dan Abnett. Just in terms of his backstory. The community medic used to be a corpsman in the army, and when he retired, he became a doctor, and then it wasn't being funded enough. He felt he could do more good off the grid. And lawfully good, yes. Bishop Blood says favorite gallow, the worm. Yeah, I was like, how do I find out? And then I look over at my character sheet and I see Wild Shape just poking up the top. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that's right, I can do that.
Gallo does the worm.
Gallo does the worm. Yeah. So I liked that decision. I hadn't really decided. I'd decided what he was, or who he had been, what his backstory was, but I hadn't actually decided how I was going to play him. That's as I often do in the sort of 3 minutes before we go live on a 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot sort of thing. I'm like, oh fuck, I actually haven't thought about how I'm going to play this. So who I found was fun, and I'm very happy with who I found. When I decided on a voice and I decided on a relationship style. But my favorite me moment was him just not knowing how to do this next bit and going, Fig, would you please? Can you do this one? This was unexpectedly hard. I really enjoyed that moment of, no, I can't. I also like getting up and saying, no, I'm not reading that. I'm not reading the diary of anyone.
You really did do a great job of kind of recognizing and self-regulating when you'd done a lot and being like, you know what? This guy has a hang up about this for some reason. Someone else take over that. Yeah, that was very well done.
I actually have one more, and it's that you made him flawed. Which is to say, he was like, all right, ladies, don't go, you know. And I was like, wow.
It
was just one of those things where I'm just like, you can see a good person still having outdated views, because that's what we are. We are a bunch of conflicting things and there's a bunch of stuff even the best person in the world needs to work on. There's internalized things that we're not even aware of until someone goes maybe don't, that was a really cool thing. It's just like he's a really good dude, but he's got some stuff to work out with women, and that's fine, that's cool. It makes him a person as opposed to just a bunch of good traits, right? I thought it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else for Josh? Okay.
Cool. Good. Thank goodness. Right, Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Very appropriate that we're talking about Jack last, as this really was focused on Tali. Anyone have any Tali/Jack favorite moments? And let's hear them in chat too. Look, I'll start. I liked the frustration and the refusal to let go of the meaning of this book finding its way to you.
Yeah, that's what I have written down for myself as well.
Yeah. It led to some really interesting conversations, and it was really helped to epitomize this investigator that Tali is. and not letting any loose threads hang. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, I'll build on that since that was mine as well. It's partly like the loose thread thing, but it's mostly bitterness, which she kind of elaborated on. She's like, some dick has dropped this book off now, and this has been a problem for 5 years, and she's not really prepared to accept excuses at this stage because this person, as far as she's concerned, didn't face her because they knew it was wrong or they're fucking with her. So, like, you know, like if she's very much about accountability. She's like, you know, like you know, if you did the wrong thing, you should stand up and at least have the guts to you know, face what you've done or like whatever is happening. And she doesn't like the idea of anyone shirking or like trying to get away from the stuff they've done. You got to own that shit. So that's her. It's fun. It's very fun too, playing a more cynical character than the character I normally play. So
yeah. Very little could be further from Smoothie.
That's true. Yeah.
Despite the same
also,
moral compass.
It's also really interesting having played with Tali a couple times during Candlekeep and particularly in that last or second last episode that Tali was in, where a lot of growth happened, seeing that carryover in the characterization has been really interesting too.
This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, getting Tali into the wood. Because there's a couple of Humblewood natives in the Candlekeep campaign, because my original intention was going to be have Dolph here as well. But Dolph is the worst person for this investigation. Dolph is a warlock barbarian cross. He's just useless for this. There's no.
When can I hit things?
This is very interesting. Why are there ghosts?
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Amusingly, has a very similar way about him, but just louder than Gallo. But nowhere near as useful as Gallo would be. My favorite Tali moment, I'm actually going to say in the reverse, picking up on the name game and forcing him to do it. Say my name, Gallo. Say it. You want cake? Say it.
It was
and
so much fun.
A running Caligula / Emperor thing, or let them eat cake. I know that was Marie Antoinette, but yeah, like there was a lot of Emperor stuff. That forcing him to unbend was really cute. Yeah. Oh, and the thing about pizza.
Yeah. Introducing pizza to the world, yeah.
That was part of my moment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You took it. Go ahead.
Damn it. Well, no, I just like the continuous circle back to my kids. Yeah. Like it was really awesome that it was kind of front of mind for the character, that, you know, everything kind of revolved around, oh, I'm doing this, but I need to get back to my kids. Or, you know, when Tali was home, doing things for the kids, and like all the investigation stuff kind of took a back seat while she was busy with the children. So for me, that made Tali real.
Oh. Cute.
So like that was like, oh, that's you know, it was the wholesome part of this, like after all of the horrors, because again, people, you know, investigators do these sorts of things, and at the end of the day they still have to come home and be present with their families. So it's kind of, it was a really sort of it was, yeah, and the way she kind of wound down after that was really real. And for me, that just it really brought the character to life for me.
Thank you, that's very sweet. That was very sweet. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
It's worth noting that thank you to all our people who choose to wear a uniform. You are braver than I will ever be. And like going home after seeing the stuff that you've seen, because in my other jobs I work with police and FRV quite often. Thank you. It is a tough job, and we very much appreciate anyone who wears a uniform. Thank you so much.
Marvelous. Alrighty. Well, guys, Brendan, I think that's it.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Josh, you
turn it off.
almost,
Hey?
yeah. Yeah. Look, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight, and hopefully you will join us for the next couple of weeks as well. I'm really excited about the places that this adventure will go. Yeah, let's do a little outro of ourselves first, and then we'll go from there. Josh, if you want to take a look at places for us to raid while we do that.
Probably Eldritch Scribe, they are streaming, or Dice Legends is also live.
Cool.
Either one of those.
We'll come to that in a little bit.
Hmm?
So hey, Josh, who are you?
Madame et Monsieur, Dame und Herren of beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here in my channel Corsair's Cove, where I run games in this Humblewood world right now, where we are. And I also do other RPG games as well, and sometimes I make other people play with me, like my lovely wife and my splendid friends, and my splendid new friends as well, because I barely know Elibee, and I'm so stoked that she said yes to coming on and playing with us. It has been an absolute joy having you, Elibee. Thank you so much for coming along. We have more games. We normally stream Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. This will be a 3-shot, and then we will come back to my Humblewood story, Humblewood of Monsters and Magic, where we deal with the incipient race war that's going on. It's super light and fluffy. I promise next season we will get back to Monster of the Week. Whereas on Monday nights, Midnight and Madness, totally different vibe. Completely different. No spooky shit there at all. They just got out of the Amber Temple in Barovia. They all survived, including the one that isn't on the same plane of existence anymore. But he is technically alive.
There was a lich there, Elibee. We barely survived.
Yeah.
Oh God.
At level 8. No. They were 8 when they fought it.
8.
3 of them fought a lich at level 8. And a vampire spawn and an Arcanoloth. The lich didn't have his spells. It's the only reason they survived.
Correct.
And they ground down the Arcanoloth a bit. He was running low. Anyway, Monday night, Midnight and Madness. Tuesday night, I will be back for some Tactics Tuesday. We will have a look at some more TTRPGs, solo stuff, and roleplay things. That's what we do here. I'm also part of the podcast There Be Dragons, where you can find me playing the infamous and deadly pirate Scan Felspar und his little dragon, Roche. That's been me. Thanks very much, Brendan.
And thank you for playing. It's been a pleasure. Back to the good old days.
Yes. So, for those who don't know, I played with 2 DMs before I started DMing my own self. I played with Matt from There Be Dragons, who was my first ever DM, but the person who has DM'd me the most to date is Brendan Ellis.
That's me. Yeah, that was cool. Ellie, please, who are you?
Hi, I'm Elibee, serial lurker of most D&D streams. You can find me on socials as at Elibee94. On most of them. I don't know which ones. I'm sorry. I don't keep up to date with it. D&D enthusiast, theatre person, all that jazz. This is one of the only streams I've ever done, so I've had a great time. Thank you all for having me. It's been fantastic.
Natural.
One of us.
Oh no.
Thank you. Jack.
Hey,
Jack, please.
Hey there, everybody. My name is Jack O'Brien. You can find me on all the socials and on Twitch at Jack Squarepeg, where we do a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 content or a video game potluck or RPG edutainment. If that sounds like your thing, I'd really appreciate a follow, because starting to stream more and make that more of a thing. There'll also be on that channel very soon, with some stars of this very own channel, a Call of Cthulhu show set in 1892 in New Mexico. We're going full on. There might be a Clint Eastwood cameo. We don't know. I'll probably do it just for funsies at this point. We're going a full Western Call of Cthulhu show, and I hope to see you there. Thank you for your support, and thank you for being here.
with Dan and
Very
Ro
cool.
from the Candlekeep campaign.
That's true. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan was in the Candlekeep campaign. Of course he was. Yeah, then you
Yes,
guys will.
Mr.
Yes.
O'Brien. Mr.
Fantastic.
O'Brien.
Yes.
The other Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Fukar, we should say, to make it
That's-
make more
That's
sense.
Yes.
That's why we gotta stick together. It's like, oh yes, you're a proper potato eater. Let's go. Okay.
Brendan, who the heck are you?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Brendan. This has been my first time DMing on stream. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for being kind, everyone.
Being kind, you're awesome.
I am normally here on Thursdays in Monsters and Magic. So, but as I said before, I have usurped my own slot. So tune in for the next couple of weeks to see how this adventure concludes
Yeah.
with Sarah. That will be very cool. It's incredibly late, particularly for our Eastern staters. So we'll wrap up very soon. But Josh, can you please briefly talk to us about the Ukraine?
Very well. The Ukraine is going through a bit of a war right now. It's something of an invasion, you might say. And this has generated a lot of refugees. So if you have any spare pennies in your digital wallet, please consider chucking them over at the emergencyactionappeal.org.au. It is a group of Australian charities and not-for-profits that are raising money to help the Ukrainian refugees generated by said war. And we would appreciate the heck out of it if you would chuck any spare pennies you have over there. If you do, please bless you. And if you sneeze during this, bless you as well. Guys, I think we'll go and raid the Eldritch Scribe, our stream team buddies. They are probably doing some world building over there for their D&D campaign. Des' ongoing Kingslayers campaign, which is frankly as large and complex as my Humblewood. So if you are up for even more brain strain, let's go over there. Yeah, Brendan, take us away.
Oh, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. We will see you when we next see you. Have a pleasant evening and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.